Yo,
Hey.
yo,
Woo.
yo.
Put my words up there, man. Put my stuff up there, boy. Happy
Oh, you.
Tuesday.
Oh, who we at? Hold on,
Happy
that ain't the one.
Tuesday.
That ain't the one. Nope, that ain't the one.
Gotcha. Hey.
There we go. There we go.
Let's do it. Let's
There
do it,
we
man.
go.
Hey, happy Tuesday to you, boy. Good to see you, man.
Hey, happy, bro. Happy Tuesday. Happy to be seen, bro, not viewed. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, man. Hey, uh,
Yo,
I'm Lonnie
yeah.
Horn, proud owner of World Class Faders and World Class Stylist Barbershop and Salon.
I am the Honorable Tamel Cuts, proud owner of Uppercuts Barber Shop.
Hey, and
And this is
together.
the United Barbers Club, and you're watching another episode of For the Culture Livecast.
Come on, y'all.
Podcast.
Hey. And we're glad to be here. And just for everybody who's tapping in, this is our new platform. We've been going live on IG since the pandemic, as a matter of
Yes.
fact. And the
Yes.
reason we even started doing that was just to keep the morale of the barber industry up. This barber industry has saved our lives, fed our families. And for us to see so many barbers quit and getting out of it, saying they going back to get a 9 to 5 when things got tough, we decided every Tuesday we would go live to just talk barber talk, to keep it in the mind, the mental of them. And then after the pandemic was over, our audience said, nah, don't stop that. Keep it going. We just said we just can't do it at 2 o'clock no more because we got to go back to work.
Oh yes, indeed. And it's been a wonderful journey, man. We had opportunity to help people out throughout the pandemic, but also to meet a lot of the influencers of our industry, a lot of the brand ambassadors, a lot of the content creators, the people that our interviews help to bring value to you and your journey. And then we got this platform that you guys can ask them questions personally, or at least through here, to get your questions answered. So that's what it's all about, man. We're just trying to uplift, inspire, and enlighten everybody in this industry.
Hey man, hey, this is good stuff, man. I'm happy to be here. I love the new platform. We've been getting good compliments. Last week we had our guy Charlie, CEO of One Blade Shave, on. We had some great stuff. Check out some of the shorts because that thing was full of game, man. He was very innovative, man.
Oh yes.
Give me some music, man. I'm gonna talk about what we got on here,
Hold
man.
on, hold on, player. Let
Give,
me
give
get
me
you a
some
little
pair
something.
of music,
Let me get you
man.
a little something, man. Hey, go on, Lonnie.
Well, you
Go.
want me to go first, man?
Oh, you know I don't mind stepping into the spotlight.
Tell
I
her what you
like my
got on,
light
man.
bright. Well, right
Apparel of
now
the week.
I'm topping my crown off with the United Barbers Club trucker brim. You know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna go head down to the chest plate, and we're wearing that jack of all fades.
Hey, shout out to Jack of All Fades, man.
Out of Reno, Nevada.
Yes, actually
got?
the winner of the Content Creator of the Year award, man. So shout
Yeah,
out
the
to Jack
CT
of All
Expo.
Fades.
Yeah, that was huge.
Yes, me today. I am sporting a very authentic,
Authentic.
trademarked Barber Love Barber hat. Owned by the United Barbers Club. If you want one, talk to us at the next event. And then
indeed.
also on the chest, we are sporting level 3, man. Shout out to all of our level 3 family. Jay hooked us up with these. Actually, this is a great shirt too, man. This material, you got the beveled letters right here. Level 3 always show us love, man. And the reason we do this apparel of the week is because me and this guy, we've been blessed. We've traveled around this country, and we've had so many brand owners and inventors give us things and just say, hey man, we appreciate what you guys do for the industry, and here you go. So rather than us just tucking it in our closet and never wearing it, we decided we would do apparel of the week every week to show how much innovation is going on in this barber industry. So shout out to these brands, y'all. These are barber brands right here, man.
And if you guys have anything that you would like to see on our podcast, please send it to 8011 Watt Avenue, Antelope, California. And send 2 sizes, both large, and I will make sure Lon gets his.
All right, y'all. We keeping it moving, man. T, man, let them know about our sponsors and our partners, please.
Man, I'm excited about this. So here, we're going to start off with the...
So this is a Barber card. Someone can scan the QR code or can just tap it to the back of someone's device, click click the link. Now they have instant access to all of my website links, all of my social media, and my contact card. That is Barber.
Barber's Illustrated magazine is the ultimate magazine for the culture, craft, and community of the barbering world. Get stories and insight from your favorite barbers from all over the world. Plus, much more you won't get anywhere else. Subscribe now at barbersillustratedmagazine.com, just $6 a month for print, or go digital for $2.99 a month. Join the movement at barbersillustratedmagazine.com.
Yes, and DD Lemon Squeezy. I'm gonna put you back where you belong.
I love it, man. I love it, man. Shout out to all of our shout out to all of our sponsors and partners, man. We've been able to, again, we've been blessed enough to build these relationships. It doesn't happen overnight, y'all. So we're very honored for all of those sponsors and partners who support us along the way with our journey, man.
Amen.
So passing upcoming events, man. You had anything going on last weekend?
No, I was camping, bro. I was out there with the bears.
Okay, I didn't know barbers be camping.
I think we should book a barber's camping trip, bro.
I like
think
that,
that'd
man.
Be hot.
I like that. I like that. It's a little diversity, man.
Matter
Of fact, I do want to bring up something that happened last week. One of our barber brothers, Rick the Barber. This guy has shared his story so many times, man, and this inspires so many people, man. We have a lot of barbers who are who spent time in the pen, who had past lives that we've been strong enough to overcome. A lot of us. I don't care what we look like. A lot of us, man, and I'm very proud of that. And Rick is one, man. He shares that he spent time in there and came home, changed his life, and this barbering just changed his life even more. So the guy, you know, has been out over 10 years, left his state, and he gets pulled over on just some random stuff, and come to find out there's a warrant from over 10 years ago. And this guy is like, 3 weeks away from his first barber battle, which is the Washington State Elite Barber Summit. We've been promoting that for months to promote our brother. And what's the chances, man? This guy gets locked up literally a few weeks before the event. And so, you know, we've been praying with him, trying to keep his spirits up. This is what that barber love is about right here.
Yes.
You know, we've been talking to his wife, keeping her, just keeping her in good spirits, writing letters, working with people like Barber. Who else was it? Jack of all Fades, a couple other people,
Heavy
man.
brand too.
Yes.
Heavy came through.
Heavy came through big. Raising funds, just trying to help them get through the process, man. And last week, man, this guy came home, all charges clear. Give us some sound effects for that, T.
Oh, wait, hold on. I got you, bro. Hold on. I'm over here doing more than what I need to be doing.
Let me talk. You do that. Listen, this dude came home, man. And what I will say is God was on him the whole time, man, because he actually, I was proud of him finding the strength in himself to stop looking at it like, hey, why me? And he said, why does God want me to do what I'm doing? And he started helping people in jail before he left out. So he's home, record clear, smiling, cut his hair off, man. So y'all make sure y'all check out our guy, Rick the Barber. He's getting ready to take over this industry now, man. Big shout outs to Rick the Barber.
Big shout outs.
So that's pass. Now what's coming up? We want to shout out our guy, Nando Corpse, man. Jack's Elite Barber Expo is coming up. I think it's the weekend of July 21st. So me and Tamel, we throw some big events ourselves. But one thing about the Barbers Club is we're about uniting barbers, which means you're not only going to see stuff on our page about our events, we also bringing up things that other barbers are doing, which is why we kept this platform going. So shout out to Nando Corpse. And then right after that, very next weekend, July 27th, man, in Sacramento, California, at Federico's Beauty Institute. I think we got something called.
Man, quit talking and let's see the video walking.
Show them the video.
You gonna learn today. You gonna learn today.
The comments, I see y'all. Hey, that is our top of the class student barber battle, y'all. This is for everybody. It's the best place for shop owners to be because you're always asking, where do I find the talent? Well, guess
Yes.
what? This is where you find them, man. You come to events like this.
Yes.
Students, oh man, I want to get to one of those. Come, whether you're going to compete or just be there to network. Barbers who are licensed and you just want to, I need hitters on my team. This is the place to be, man. July 27th. And
Yes, indeed.
man, I'm excited about it. You excited, T?
Oh, bruh, they already tickets is flying, so I would not delay. I would get mine today. We mentioned about the classes. Classes are $30 each, but you can get a 3-pack for $60, so you kind of getting the class free. Don't miss the opportunity.
It's a crazy one, man. $20 to get in that thing, man. I don't know where y'all getting that from. Hey, shout out to everybody in the comments, man. We love to give y'all some love. And it is a big deal, y'all, that y'all are working with us moving over from this platform. So some of y'all went to IG and you saw that this is where we at. You see DL's sharp self on there waiting for y'all. So he's coming up and we appreciate y'all doing that. But just a quick moment, man. We want to say shout out to Skincare by K. I see you in there. Happy Tuesday. Vatano, one of our past guests. We got to get you on this new platform now, man. Happy Tuesday.
I see Ken Stars in there. I see Tara the Barber in there. Shout out all the way from New York.
Hey,
Know what I'm
our
saying?
guy, our barber brother, man, Ray's Barbershop
yes.
all day. Kay's gonna be on next week, y'all. Check her out for the ladies, man. Her story's gonna blow y'all mind, man. Babies, let's go. Rick the Barber, we just
Rick
got to
the
talk about your
Barber.
boy. Let's
Rick the
go.
Barber.
Let's
Clubhouse is
go.
officially open, Jack.
Jack. All right, y'all, man. You got any news before we get into our guest, man? Or?
No. We spoke today. We went out to a school today.
We did,
We
man.
spoke at Federico's Beauty and Barber Institute. Shout out to all the students. This is the thing, man. We go to schools and we don't do demos. We talk about the industry, how you can build better habits to be successful in this industry. A lot of people are focused on the haircuts and how skilled they need to be to produce the best haircut. But while they're in school, they're not working on the business part that's going to keep those doors swinging open and getting clients in your chair. And that's to be consistent with your business. So we went and did our presentation today, talked to a lot of students about that. And what was impressive is we went over time to where we was into their break. And I said, I know you guys got a break coming. They're like, yeah, that was 20 minutes ago. I said, well, we'll give y'all your break. They're like, nah, keep going. And we went on for another 40 minutes. So they were just wrapped up in what we were giving them and they just consuming it. And we're very thankful that they had us out. And that is where we're going to have top of the class student barber battle at Federico's. They've been partnering with us for over the past 6 years throwing these events. So we want to thank the Federico family for that great opportunity.
They showed us some love today,
Yes.
man. Shout out to Federico's, man. If y'all on here tonight or you see this video later, man, we appreciate that energy, man. All right, man.
Let me give you something that you can bring them out. Hold on, let me get you.
We need to have a bell. Ding, 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 ding. Hey.
All right.
Ray, we love you too, man. All right, y'all. It's that time, man. It's what we all came here for tonight. Tonight's guest is a true icon, man. True icon in this barbering industry. And I got to say, not just this industry, in this world from what we've seen.
Big.
Master Barber, CT Barber Grammy Humanitarian Award winner. We seen that in person. Celebrity clients include Tupac Shakur, Biggie Smalls, Kevin Hart, Jay Leno, and the list just keeps going on. We're going to let him tell some
Jay
of the rest of it.
Leno?
Dude, I did say Jay Leno.
Jay
man.
Leno.
This guy is not just a barber. He's an investor. He's a car collector, author, dancer. Some of y'all didn't know that. Dancer.
Ooh, I want to dance battle him now.
Hey. See, I'm giving you stuff you didn't know. Movie producer, man. Some of y'all
Let's
didn't
go.
even know this, man.
Let's go.
Man, we're so proud of our brother, man. He's recently signed to Level 3. It's a whole new sponsorship, man. Again, Level 3 on the shirt tonight, man. It's a big move for someone who's we've seen running in his own lane for a while, man. And I just want to say, with no further delay, man, let's bring in our guy, our barber brother, DL. No, hold on. Darren, DL the Master Barber Lyons. Hey, let's
What's
go. Go, let's see that dancing, boy. We say,
Yeah,
come
wait,
on,
you want to see me?
What's happening, fellas? What's going on?
Yeah,
on
you
What's
gotta do like
this
up?
the
amazing
comedy show when
blessed
they be like,
Tuesday.
Yes,
oh,
indeed.
This
It
this this is gonna be a dope this Tuesday's amazing, man. Just because I woke up this morning. But
mm,
right.
listen, man, it's gonna be some gem dropping today.
I want everybody to pull out your pen and paper because what you going or just watch the show again because DL do not play. You talk about passion and how he gives. You guys are going to be in for a treat. Get ready, stand by, and just take notes mentally or on paper. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this.
D-
DL, how's everything, brother?
Come on, man. I'm blessed and highly favored, man, and thankful to be here, man. Thankful to being on this platform, man. I see what y'all doing, and it looks amazing, man. Y'all just
Oh,
keep doing what you're doing. I'm seeing
thank you.
stuff that I mean, like different graphics that I haven't seen on a barber platform ever. And so
Hey.
I'm really happy. I'm really proud of what you guys are doing, and it's really good to actually see barbers. You guys are actually talking about barbers that don't necessarily have to be an influencer. It's like we always hear about influencers, but what about the other barbers that are out there that's working hard? What about the other barbers that have fallen and need some help? So I just think that this platform is great, and I'm just happy to be here.
Oh, brother.
man,
Bless
we're
you.
so happy to have you back, and it means a lot, man. For us, we know you've been around this world, you've seen a lot of things. So a
Mhm.
compliment from you, especially as hard as we worked on this platform, man. It means a lot, man. So thank you, and hopefully, just so you know, we've been hanging in it. This ain't just some screen thing. This is our studio. Me and this dude be in this room. This is a virtual room.
Oh my
Come on, man.
God,
We literally be in here working on stuff. So hopefully,
bruh.
man, you get that vibe that hey, I'm going to the studio with my guys sometime, man, because you
Let
always
them
welcome
cook.
here.
Let them cook, man.
Hey,
You hear me? It does not happen overnight. And it's a lot of things that you have to be willing to sacrifice to get to that studio. And a lot of people want to do the things that you do, but not willing to do what you do to get there.
hey, that's
So
real, man.
it looked real easy from all you clicking in, all you doing is clicking in. It's a difference when you standing behind it.
Isn't
It's
that
real.
society in the general though? They
That's
just
life.
want everything fast, right? We got
That's life.
fast food. We don't even want to wait in the barbershop no more. We need to get that quick in and out service. Everything is like give it to me now. I don't have
Now,
time to wait.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I want
man.
to be
Mm-hmm.
rich and famous today, not
Yeah,
tomorrow.
okay. But not willing to go through the process. But
No.
I say to all, enjoy the process.
Oh, it's
Ooh, talk
it's. I'm
about it.
telling you,
Yeah.
man. Me and Lon, people would tell us how we're celebrities or how we're this and that, and me and Lon are still like, man, we got work to do. We ain't
Come on
nowhere
now.
where we want to be, and y'all already see that we're at a certain part of success. That ain't even where we getting. We going way beyond that, or at least reaching.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What's that?
I know
Man,
I get offended when people like I'm up for an award on the 13th at Barber Time in Boston,
congrats.
and I told them I don't want that. Don't give me nothing that have celebrity on it. I don't
Mm,
want it. I'm a
I heard
master
you say
barber.
that too. I heard you
That's
mm.
what
say
I.
you get
Oh,
offended if they
I
call
get
you a celeb.
highly offended. Now I don't knock nobody who will get that award. I say, man, get that to somebody who that's what they living for. But I work too hard. I've been through too much. I've experienced the up, the down, the good, the bad, the ugly for 40 years, and it's getting ready to be over 41 years. So I'm not willing to give up my master barber status to a celebrity.
Mm.
Mm.
That's a
I'm
big.
not I'm not willing to do that. They didn't go to school with me. They didn't catch three buses like I caught three buses. They didn't sleep on that couch when I was sleeping in my barber shop when I didn't have a place to live. They didn't do none of that. So I'm gonna be willing to say I'm a celebrity barber. Hell no, I'm a master barber.
Mm.
Love it. Now check this out. I want to rewind back a little bit, man, because we already know what we in store for. It's them. They don't. Some of
Okay.
them don't know what they in
They
store
don't know.
for.
They don't
So
know.
so we actually gotta paste this so they could get the ride. So
Break it
my
down and make it broke, man.
I always like to start off. Let me get me focus in. I always like to start off asking why barbering, man. Why barbering for
For me,
DL? Yes, sir.
we talking about a legacy. My grandfather was a barber, my uncle was a barber, my mother was a barber. I'm a barber, but all of them were master barbers. But for me, it was change. It was giving back. It was being a part of the community. It was all of the things that I saw them do, but I wanted to take it to the next level. And it's not about the cut as much as about how I make them feel.
Mm.
And so, my thing was never, it wasn't even when I was coming out, there was no Instagram, there was no Facebook, there was no social media, there was not even cell phones.
Mm.
So, we didn't have all those distractions. What we had is communication. What we had was strong relationship building. What we had was an environment that people can really, really have true, real, organic conversations. Now the barbershop is totally different. You come into the shop and everybody's on their phone. Every once in a while, somebody
Yeah.
will bring up a topic. It's more becoming an individual thing. But even at my place, we always talked. I always wanted to keep that environment, and I just think that that's a place where people can go and just let their hair down, even if they don't have no hair. They can let it down and just be heard.
When did that
Yeah.
journey begin though? When did you start?
Shoot, man, that's 87,
Oh,
87.
1987. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, man. It started earlier, but licensed to be out there was 87.
Okay. And
What?
so go
Oh,
ahead,
go
G.
ahead.
Go
No, no,
ahead.
I don't want to
I,
split
I,
your questions. Just
yeah,
leave me some room. Leave me a little
okay.
room.
So so we started in 87.
Mm-hmm.
Uh let's when you look back at the Barber from
Mm-hmm.
87,
Mm-hmm.
and how is it different from DL the Master Barber we see in
Good question.
2025?
Wow, that's a really, really good question. I
Good
think it's
question.
very, very different because back then the grind was so real. I wasn't turning nothing down but my collar. I was focused on trying to build a clientele. I was focused on trying to make my name and get my name out there. It was really, really hard for me because for those who don't know, Jerry Curls was out. And so my
Man.
competition was Jerry curls, right? And if you didn't have no Jerry curl, you didn't have no girl, So,
Girls for
you
the
know,
girls,
and,
waves for
and
the
and
babes.
a lot of people didn't know that barbershops were closing down because barbers did not want to transition to doing Jerry curls. So men started going to
Mm.
salons to get
Wow.
their hair done, and barbers started losing their shops because of it. So when I came into the business, most people didn't believe in you're going to make money doing that. They said, "Nah, you go to college, go to real college." I said, "But it says barber school. Not ain't real no that ain't no real college. Go to real school."
Mm.
My best friend went to USC. I chose to go to barber school. So the thing is that it's one of those situations where the barber gang was different. It wasn't as popular as it is now. But one thing it did have was it had security. What it did have was barbers. They were united, and that's without social media. So it was a totally different environment compared to what it is today. Today's environment is almost like a gang. Barbers don't even talk to each other, and they right around the corner from each other, or they up the
Mm.
street from each other. When a barber shop went up in prices, which I was one always leading that charge. When
Mm-hmm.
I go up in prices, all the other barbers shops will go up and match that price. But now, today, barbers are going down in price to try to outdo the barber shop up the street or down the street. So it's a big difference when people are racing to the bottom instead of racing to the top.
Mm.
Now, we spoke to you a couple of times, and pricing is now really big for you to, for barbers to recognize their worth or to push the industry to where it needs to be financially. What
Mhm.
is a price you want to see barbers be at?
Well, that's a you guys are throwing very, very interesting questions that I think your audience would definitely like to hear about. We always talk about pricing, but we have to, before we can even get into pricing, we have to speak about value. And if there's no value, then there's no price. Because a lot of barbers, they are good haircutters, but can't show up on time. That's not a good barber. There's a lot of barbers out there that you know are very popular and very influential, but I don't know when they're coming to work.
Mm.
But I got an appointment. I have an app. I done signed on the app, and so it's very difficult to try to increase your value when you haven't increased the true value what is inside of you. The gift is inside of you. You were designed. You were blessed to be able to do the things that you do. But if we don't take this business serious, then how can you ask for money that you really have not earned or deserve? And I will be honest, I'm the first person to say that, if you're going to ask for that kind of money, what am I getting?
Mm.
What am I getting? What am I getting for that price? If you're gonna go up to $50, what does that mean? Does that mean you're gonna spray my hair every time I come in here, and then when I take a shower, it washes away? That's not
Mm,
worth $50 to me. I
mm,
wanted a haircut, not a hairspray.
mm.
So, and big shout outs to those guys who all they do is fibers and all that. This is the world that we're in. But fibers was not designed for to do a haircut in high true fades. Fibers was used for the lights for cameras. But now we're using them as a way of life, and that's a very dangerous thing to do. And people say, "Well, forget what he talking about. I'm getting my money." Well, that's cool, but what value did you give to your client?
I like that point you just you touched on. In our shops, in my shop especially, I have a rule. You can use enhancements. I'm not going to tell you how to do a head or not,
Hmm.
but the cut has to be good before you do add an enhancement.
That's
When
right.
that washes off, that has to be a good lineup. It's not a cover up. It's what the word is. It's an enhancement. So that's definitely a good point, man. Tell us about Barber Time Media. What's the mission and how do barbers benefit financially?
Well, I think, you know, for you talking about, could you rephrase the question so I can get a better understanding of what
So
you're asking?
Barber Time Media, I was curious. I did a little research. I saw that pop up, and I
Hmm.
saw you represented.
Hmm.
How what is it, and how
Okay,
can
so
barbers? What's
Barber Time Media is another company similar to you guys' company. And what they do is provide information, they provide knowledge, they provide wisdom to barbers who are looking to elevate their business. And then it's also the what's what and what's happening now. So it's a platform like that to try to help barbers level up.
sound like we need to connect with them, man?
Definitely, and
Absolutely.
that's how we flow, man. We're not out here trying to compete with nobody. We're trying to build together. He owns a couple of successful barbershops and salons. I own a successful barbershop,
Legendary. He owns a
but
legendary shop out here,
but
man.
together we're able to do stuff like this, travel the world, and inspire and enlighten other people out there that's in this industry that from the struggles that we did. It's like when your mom and them say, "Hey, I already did that already, so you ain't got to do it." We go at that angle, like,
Hmm.
bro, there's some things we wasted 10 to 15 years of our early barber careers doing stupid stuff,
Hmm.
and now we're highly
But
focused.
that comes through elevating and through wisdom,
Yeah.
Mm.
right? And the thing is that my concentration has always been, even with working with barbers like yourselves, is to always try to get barbers to understand it ain't about the haircut as much as it's about the relationships, and the relationships are more powerful. That's the only reason why your shop are doing as well as they're doing,
You're
is
absolutely
because of
right.
the relationships that you're building. So many barbers are so caught up with the haircuts and the blurry fades, and you do all of that, but you can do that blurry fade, and I can do a bald head, and I'll make 100 times more than you do.
Ask him the question, T. Ask him the percentage
Here it
question.
is. So you have 100%. How
Hmm.
much of it is the haircut? How much of it is the professionalism?
I would say 95% is the
Woo!
professionalism.
I knew you was gonna go a high number.
That
I
was
knew
one of
it.
the strongest ones
I
we
knew it.
ever
It
heard.
was. It was.
It's
And
it's
I
nine it's 95%, and then I honestly can tell you, the haircut is only out of that 95. It's really 3%.
That's
break
for
that
sure.
down. Help them
Yeah,
visually see that. How is that so minimal compared to the 95% or the
Because
97?
here's the deal. When you first got out of school, you was not as good. Some people were, because they was already cutting before. But when you get out of school, 9 times out of 10, you're not as good as you are now.
Mm,
Okay, you've gained experience. And the thing is that when you start talking about that, a lot of people come to you, and they didn't even like your haircuts
mm,
when you first started. They didn't even like them, but they liked you.
mm,
And the thing is that why would I come back to somebody who I don't even like the way they do my hair? But guess
man.
what? He made me feel good.
yeah.
Mm,
He changed my perspective. When I
Yes.
came in, I was down, and when I left, I was uplifted. And
mm.
that those things right there, I'm willing to work with him. I'm willing to be patient and put in the time, energy, and effort to work with him. And here's the crazy thing. They never even told you they didn't like the haircut. They tell you that 10 or 15 years
Yeah.
later, and tell you
Man,
like, man, back in the day, man, my
Yeah.
wife
You used to
hated
mess
you.
me up.
Yeah, man.
that's real.
But I loved you. I
Yeah.
Man,
enjoyed your company. I appreciated the time that I got to spend with you. And
Yep.
so when you start talking about that, is that really worth the money that you was charging? Absolutely, 100 times more than that. But if it was based on the haircut, then you should have got $5.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
You should have got $5.
Yeah.
When I
I
was
know.
when I was coming up, and this is dating myself, but let me tell you something. When I was coming up in barber school, for a whole day, I might make 50 cents.
Whoa, wait.
Wait, break
50
that down.
cents. 50
I'm
cents
gonna
stuff.
say that one more
50
time.
cents stuff.
Now, mind you, and 50 cents is and doing at least 15 people.
Okay.
Damn.
People would give me 5 cents.
DL, you not that old, DL.
All right.
You
All
not
right.
penny candy old, bruh. You are not penny
It's
candy
not
old.
even a
I
question about penny
He said
candy. It's
penny
about the
candy.
clients that were coming in there and they thought
got
they
you.
was giving me a big tip for 5 cents.
Got you.
They
Got you.
giving me 25 cents. The person that used to give me a big tip, his name was Michael Blaylock. It was on Fridays, and on Fridays that means I knew that I can get me a turkey sandwich, a half turkey sandwich. I can get a soda, and I can get some chips. He gave me $5. That was huge
Mm.
because most of the people that came in that shop were older people. So
Got you.
5 cents for them was big money, but it
Got you.
wasn't to me. I'm looking at them like, bro, this what we doing? So I walk out of there with a pocket full of change and add up to 50 cents.
Mm.
Let me tap into that part. So some of these people that's doing that now, that's sitting in the barber shop, barely making or doing a haircut a day with that kind of struggle at that time, what kept you going? What kept you in there?
Good
But
question.
see, it wasn't even about the money.
I know.
That's the whole thing about it. It was about the passion. It
Mm.
was about the purpose. It was about my vision on where I was going. See, there
Mm.
I was destined to do what I'm doing. There was no question. So it was 3 buses to get to school for me. Three that I
Mm.
had to catch every single day, starting out at 4:30 in the morning. So it wasn't no plan to be in Hollywood, to be at work, to be at barber school on time. So I was my focus, and you got to remember, there was no social media.
Nope.
There was no communicating with barbers in New York. There was no communicating with barbers in the Northern Cal. There was none of that. You communicated with barbers that was in your community, and that was it. But the bottom line is again, it was about the people that I was coming in contact with. It was about the relationships that I came in contact with. It was about the love that I came in contact with people that I've never met in my life. And that's what made me, that's what drove me, that's what gave me fire, that's what gave me passion to do more. The
It it
willingness to do more.
it is very touching when you have that instant gratification for when you do something just to help people and they appreciate it. That's
Mm-hmm.
instant gratification that me as a barber I thrive on. Going in
Mhm.
there, touching people, cutting their hair and making them feel so good and having conversations about them because there's so many barbers that get caught up that when they hear that door open, they see money. That's money, money, money. They do not see that's an individual that possibly invest in me for a long term to where that $50 I was just looking at is turning into thousands
Let,
of dollars down the road.
let me tell you something. So this was last Memorial Day. Okay. I had called the day before Memorial Day. I had called my client and asked him. This is not this past one, but the one a year ago. And I called him, and you can go on my live. It's still up. And I called him. Now this is a client of mine who's been a doctor, who it was a doctor, and you know, and even though you move away, you still have I still have a relationship with you. Okay, so I
Mm-hmm.
still call and check on you. I still call to see how you doing. I still call to see how you feeling. So I called Doc up and I said, "Hey Doc, how you doing?" He's like, "Man, DL, man, I ain't doing good." I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "Man, you remember that barber I told you about in San
Hmm.
Antonio?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Man, the dude don't never show up." I'm like, "What?"
Mm.
Now, mind you, my client don't have no hair in the middle, only hair on the sides, and he gets it colored and he has a beard. Very, very low key, simple, casual cut with color. So I said, "Don't worry about it, Doc. I'll be there tomorrow." He said,
Hmm.
"Dio, don't come down here." I said, "Nope, I'll be there tomorrow." He said, "Dio, come on now." He said, "Spend time with your family." I said, "Doc, you're not happy. I'll be
Wow.
there tomorrow." Now, mind you, I don't even know this barber. He know me, but I don't know him, right? So I flew down, cut his hair. First, I told him, let's stop at Home Depot. So what I went and did was I got some plastic, like I was getting ready to kill him. right? Because I knew
I
that he
love
had a
this.
brand new house, a big old, beautiful, like 8,000 square foot house, and I knew everything was brand new. So I didn't want to get no color nowhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I said, let's go to Walmart. Went to Walmart and I bought some black tiles, right? I didn't charge him for none of this, right? Then we
Mm.
got over there. I did a cut, I did a color. He loved it. We went to Red Lobster. You know, long story short, the next morning he had said, "Hey, D, I'm getting ready to leave. Mind you, I'm flying out a couple hours later." And I said, "Doc, let me." I said, "Just give me a minute." I brushed my teeth, threw on a t-shirt, threw on some sweats. I took a piece of deal. You and them damn pictures. I said, "Man, listen, man. These moments mean something, right?" So I took the pictures. I get back home and I said, "Doc, what's going on with your house?" Now he goes, "Oh, deal, man, don't worry about that, man. I ain't even tripping on the house. I ain't coming back to that." I said, "Doc, the problem with us is we don't have a lot of black wealth is because we don't hold on to our properties. Okay. So you need to do something with that property, right? Now, mind you, I want you to hear this. Right after I got off the phone with him, I got a call from a brother out of Reno, and he's crying and
Mm.
says, Deal, man, I don't understand something, what is wrong with you? And I said, what do you mean what's wrong with me? He said, man, why would you go all the way to San Antonio? You pay for the flight, you pay for all the supplies, and then you cut his hair for free. I said, listen, if you got to do everything for money, then you shouldn't be in this business,
Mm.
What?
right?
Mm.
So he said, well, I guess that I get that, but I just didn't understand. I said, but I need you to understand. Giving more and expecting nothing in return is
Ah.
very important.
Well, he read that book.
Right.
Amazing.
So
Go
then
giver.
now check this out. So then I get a call from Doc, and Doc says, "Hey DL, listen, I thought about what you said. So this is what I want to do. I'm sending you the address to my house." I said, "All right." So I said, "You want me to go check on it for you?" He said, "Nah, I'm giving it to you."
Wait, say that one more time.
I say that
I'm
one more
giving it
time.
to you.
I'm giving it to you. So I
Mm.
drove over. I seen the house. Everything is everything. He said, "Listen,
Wow.
I'm gonna get the paperwork drawn up, and I'm just gonna give it to you. I'm gonna gift you the house." Now,
Wow.
mind you, listen what happened. I'm doing the haircut because he was a client and I have a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing this to get no house. I'm not doing this to
Right.
get a tip. And he didn't give me no tip. He didn't give me nothing. What he did was gave me love, and the smile that I seen on his face to be able to go to work feeling good was payment enough for me. Here we go. Fast forward. A couple weeks later, I'm doing my first film, which is where you come with the producing. And in the middle of the film, I get a text, and it said, you know, DL, I got hurt. Give me a call when you get a chance. So I called Doc up and I said, what's going on? He said, I fell down some stairs, got to go into surgery. I'll let you know how I go. I said, do you need me to fly down there? He says, no. Okay. I said, Doc, as soon as you get out, let me know. So he gets out of surgery. He said it's going to take a long time for recovery because of the state of the injury. I get a call 2 days later, Doc is dead.
Mm.
Oh, snap.
Mm.
Okay. Now,
Snap.
I
Damn.
don't care nothing about that house.
Right.
Okay. What I cared about was I lost a good friend.
Yes.
Here's the deal. When you're dealing with a situation like that, just because a client leaves your shop don't necessarily mean they have to leave you.
Man.
Mhm.
And it's so important that you understand that our listeners and are the people that follow us understand that it ain't always about the money. God is going to bless you with money, but you have to have a giving and a cheerful heart as a barber, as a master barber. And
Man.
when you have a cheerful heart, God is going to bless you no matter what. The house that I own right now that I still live in to this day, you know how much I got the house for? $1,600
1600.
Jesus.
Let's go.
in a very, very upscale neighborhood. And nobody in there looked like me.
Mm.
It's
Let's go.
1% of my complexion.
Oh.
And you got so much of that that I can't wait to dive into, but I want to make sure to not skip over some of this, man. Um, I came ready to take notes with you, DL, because last time we spoke,
Mm.
it was so enlightening to me that I had to go and watch the video again because it
Hmm.
it fed my soul so much, and that's what I'm on the search for, man. Everything has a purpose behind it. Like you said, if you're doing it for money, then you're gonna miss out on everything that could come with it. Same thing with this platform. If we were looking for money with this, man, and monetization, we will miss out on relationships and gems like this, man. So we actually, when we go speak at schools, for example, I always ask, what's more valuable, time or money? Tia tell you every time I get on stage. We did it this morning. Time or money, and then that leads me into the value of relationships too.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta your valuation, your value proposition has to be right to do any of this type of serving.
Mm-hmm.
When you mention keeping relationships even when they leave, man, you just hit so many things that that I've experienced in barbering that it makes it like the best thing I've ever experienced in life. I got people that moved to the East Coast for job opportunities. I still check on them. How's the baby doing? How's marriage going for you now? And I tell them when they're leaving, hey, check it out, you're not leaving me forever. I just have I have a friend in a new place now. So
That's
now
right.
when I go to Chicago, when I go to New York, Florida, wherever, I know to tap into that person, man. So I definitely want to salute you for putting that gem out there, man, because a lot of times barbers will focus on the money value in that person sitting in the chair, and you'll miss out on the resources that come with this person. It's so much bread we got to break with each other that don't got nothing to do with money.
Mm-hmm.
If you could come in with the right
Mo-
perspective, man.
And
more
and
than
and here before we move on to your next, what I do want people to understand is that sometimes, a lot of people misunderstand the value of what was being said.
Mm,
And so they'll be like, oh man, they talking about, we ain't doing this for money. No, we do it for money, but there's a time and a place for everything. Money will come.
that's
It
it.
will always come.
That's
But
it.
you also have to understand that there's people out there that's going to need you and not going to ask you for money, but your heart has to be humble. Your heart has to be cheerful. And when you're a cheerful giver, say, listen, man, I know like, for example, at my shop, okay, I've never, ever charged a pastor,
mm,
ever charged a pastor to come
Mm.
get it when they come
You
in
the
the shop.
second
Once I
barber I
find
heard
out
say
you're a
that.
pastor, I've never charged, ever.
mm.
Mm.
Okay. And if that means if you getting cut and color, whatever the case, it's not, oh well, you only get a cut and color once a month. Whatever you need, I'm going to do it because you're doing God's work. I've never
Mm.
charged a pastor. If there's a client that has lost their job, and I've had many clients that lost their jobs, I will never charge you when you are unemployed. Ever.
Whoa.
Mm.
Ever.
Whoa.
You keep the same schedule. Your kids can still come in because I've been blessed by you by so much than being able to buy my car collection, to be able to buy extra homes, to be able to feed my mother, to be able to do the things that I do came from customers. And each customer is a chain, a link to a chain. So when you're doing bad is when I step up and help you do good. So if a
Now,
haircut is an issue, we do that. And sometimes it gets to the point where I've paid car notes, I paid house notes because I understand if I didn't have the money, then it would be a whole totally different situation. But when
got you.
you continue to give and don't look for anything,
Mm.
watch how God brings clients into into your shop. Watch how he brings people to say, listen, and you hear up here talking about a $25 haircut and they throw you 50 every time. That is because of your heart.
Mm-hmm.
DL, I love what you're saying.
Yes.
Me and Lon are like-minded individuals like you. There is so many other ones out there that cannot bridge that gap. They can't see it that way. They can't
Mm-hmm.
even imagine to think about it that way. We
Mm-hmm.
live
Mm-hmm.
in a capitalist society where money, 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 money runs the world goes round.
Mm-hmm.
How do one convert? How does one change? And you're saying it's in the heart, but how does one do that when it's not in their heart?
Well, number one, we got to understand what the standard is. That's
Mm,
number one. And I think we don't have barbers today, we don't have a standard. You know
Mm.
what I mean? And that is tough, right? So it's like for example, when we talk about our job, right? People like, what do you do? And you say, okay, I'm a barber, whatever the case may be. But see, your job is not your work.
mm,
Your job is not your work. Okay. Your job is what you're paid to do. Your work is your gift.
Mm.
mm.
See, when you start talking about your work, see, you can get fired from your job.
Yeah.
You can't get fired from your work.
Mm.
And so once we understand the difference between, because I have to understand, and people need to understand, job stands for just over broke.
Huh.
I don't know nobody who got a job that's
Mm.
doing very, very well. I
Damn.
don't know nobody. Unless they are great investors, I don't know nobody, because anything catastrophic is
You're right.
a transmission. You need 4 tires. You know, you got to go to your credit cards because a
That's
job
real
keeps you
talk.
just right there. Barbers who believe
Wow.
that's their job, then that's why they're just over broke. But when you start talking about a barbering, that is a career that creates unlimited cash flow.
Unlimited.
It creates unlimited cash flow, but we have to excel and get out of the job mindset and get into the work mindset. And the work mindset is the gift that God gave you, and he designed that gift in you before he designed you. Those hands were not meant to just cut hair. Those hands were meant to bless others. So when we start talking about how do we transform, we have to transform to say, I'm not just a barber. I'm not just a celebrity this. I'm not just a celebrity. Listen, man, God didn't make you a celebrity anything. The bottom line is, and then we look at what we're doing, we are copying and following a lot of other people. And the reason why we follow is because we lack vision.
Mm,
I'm going to say that one more time. The
mm.
reason why a lot of us follow is because we lack vision.
We all TikToking. We all copying the next
So when
trend.
you and you said copying, right?
Mm-hmm.
God didn't make copycats.
No.
And if you try to copy me, you are not going to be nothing more than a cheap copy of a priceless original.
So how does a person gain that vision? Somebody
The
who
way,
just doesn't
listen,
have that
number
or don't
one,
know how
number
to tap
one,
into
we
it.
talked about this on your last. Number one, first of all, we have to exercise prayer.
Mm,
We have to exercise prayer. We have to exercise purpose. We have to exercise patience.
the three.
A lot of people
How
don't
many
want to be
P's?
patient.
How many
It's
P's
just
is it?
five,
Was it?
five P's. I know five. A proper preparation prevent poor performance. That might have been seven. I just.
Right,
But
but
you're
so
right.
so the bottom line is that in order for us to do these things, we have to know where we're going. But when you don't have vision, you are literally linked to a chain of people who do have vision, and all you do is get pushed around wherever they choose they want to go.
Mm,
When
that's
you
deep.
have vision, then you stand 10 toes down. And a man, which is in Proverbs, a man who seeks wise counsel. That's how you're going to get to where you're trying to go. Seeking wise, not being afraid to ask for help, not being afraid to be humble enough and say, I don't know how to do this. Help me, help me.
Mm,
But
Mm,
but I don't want to do it because I don't want him to think, he better than me. No, listen, I call on these young barbers because these young barbers are so skillful.
bruh.
And
man,
I say,
another
listen,
level.
man,
Bruh.
I go into when I tell you it goes down in the DM, I slide into their DMs.
Love it.
Let's
And I will
go,
hit them
dear.
dudes. And I tell you, I will when I up, I don't care what time it is, whenever I'm feeling it, I will slide in that DM. It might be 2 in the morning. Listen, man, help me. How do you make that line so crispy?
Hmm.
And a
Yes.
lot of these youngsters be up and they be like, man, dear, I'm trying to get to where you going. I said, brother,
See.
I don't know where that is that you think I'm at because I'm a barber just like you.
Yeah.
Mm,
But I want to understand how you learn how to do that technique. And these youngsters, they got videos on top of videos in their phone.
Man.
And they
Man.
start sending. And to me, it's an honor that these youngsters would take their time to teach an old school dude how to do what they do. And listen, man, I don't have a problem asking for help because I got
love it.
1.26 billion people watching my haircuts.
Oh.
Love it.
That's a
Love it.
whole different that's a whole different thing from Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole different thing from Facebook. When you are on a television show that you have 1.26 billion people watching your haircuts, that's a different amount of pressure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
what
Big
I
time.
do is I go ask for help. And there's nothing wrong with asking for help.
And
Now,
I want to salute you though because it takes men, people, period, but men need to see a man say what you just said, man. You have this battle between the new barbers and the veteran barbers.
yes.
I consider us hybrid barbers. I'm not the veteran barber who's like, oh man, I don't
Stuck in
need
my
those
way.
clippers. I'm stuck
Yeah.
in. I'm stick with my original masters, man. I don't need that new stuff. What is that new stuff? Have you even investigated enough? Don't talk about it if you don't know it. And then the
Mhm.
same thing with the newer generation. looking at the old generation saying, "Oh, that's had. Everything's about the cut, the video, the con." No, it's there's a blend that needs to be there. You need that experience, that customer service that you've been talking about that you get from the veterans to mix with that new innovation that the new ones are bringing. So really, it's a matter of both getting something from each other, man. And that's, to me, that's how it should be. That's how it should be in everything, every industry, rap,
But you get that,
hair,
but
and
that goes
everything.
away from that. But that you don't get a lot of that is because of fear, false evidence appearing real.
Mm.
Exactly. But that's why I'm saluting you, because it takes a bigger man to say, no, I'm going to let this guy help me. Me and Tamel do the same thing. I have barbers at my shop, man. My youngest barber is 19, 20. My oldest barber is almost 60. No, I think he is 60, 62. And man, I'm right in the middle of that. I love it. I gain something from both ends. That younger barber, I want to make sure that they feel empowered. You got ideas, I want them to be at a place where they know they heard. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's one of the most defeating things, to be that young and you're in this fast moving world and you feel like it's so loud, nobody can hear my ideas. So now what I do is I teach them how to present the idea. I'm like, hey, let's take that idea now. Let's turn it into a proposal. And first they're looking at me like, what do you mean a proposal? I'm like, look, there's so many tools out here. Chat GPT is your friend. Don't just use it for, the basics. Now let's take that idea you got. Let's have chat turn it into a proposal. That way you don't use up so much of my time, to where I can really see your idea clearly. And then now I could come back with an intelligent response and we could put together a real plan. So man, I just salute you for being able to be vulnerable enough to say, hey, I don't care how old you are. If you got something that I could grow from, I'm taking it.
But see, listen, here's the deal. As a young barber, I watched the old school ways of all the elder barbers, right? But there's certain things that I learned from scripture, and there's certain things that I learned, and being humble, and being a humble servant is one of the things that I live by. And to wash another man's feet is very humble experience.
Mm,
And what I mean by that, by just listening to how they would wash Jesus' feet, right? Here's the deal. When I'm at the barbershop, I don't have a problem wiping off my client's shoes if it's been raining outside and they got mud on their shoes. They
I
get
love
upset.
it.
Deal, you ain't got to do that. But listen, if you come to my shop and you willing not to get out your car and step in the mud to come in here, that's the least I could do.
I love it.
Let me wipe them shoes off for you. They ain't got to take them off their feet. I got old school barber chairs that's real. So I can just kick them feet up, let that chair back a little bit, and let me wipe your feet off. I
I
have no
love it.
problem doing that. I have no problem. Listen, I've been having red, black, white, blue thread in my station since I started, and I've sewn on many, many buttons because
Mm,
your button is hanging. But a lot of barbers, they think that, man, I ain't doing that. I would never do. See, here's where it gets
Mm. Here
scary
it
for me.
comes. Here it comes. Get y'all pen and paper.
Here's where it gets scary for me. I tell my barbers after every haircut, give them a massage. I ain't doing that. That's some gay shit.
yep,
Okay,
yep.
all right. But you chose a job that you touch more men. You touch their
Man,
lips, you touch their nose, you touch their ears, you
man,
touch their face. You
What?
do more touching than any man will ever do.
You right.
So you telling me that's gay? When
man,
you take your homophobic butt and be broke.
Be broke.
man,
You don't really understand the power that you possess. You were the first doctor.
Yes.
You were the first doctor. You were the first dentist, and doctors and dentists touch people.
Yes.
But the problem is that we got so far away from our history that we never have been able to bridge the gap to bring it back to say what we are really valuable. We should be making just as much. I know I do.
Hmm.
But we should be making just as much as a doctor, just as much as a lawyer, because we go to school just like them. They got to go to the state board after med school and appear in front of the state board to get their license. A lawyer has to appear before the state board in order to get his law degree. I mean, his law license. We appear in front of the state board to get our license. What is the difference? Oh, well, they saving lives. I'm saving lives too.
Oh, big time. Big time.
You're the counselor.
Yes, sir.
You're the psychiatrist.
Yes, sir.
You're the fashion designer. You're the father of young men and young women who ain't never had a daddy. You are so many different things. So why you don't feel like you're worthy of getting the money that you truly deserve, but you don't feel worthy is because you don't know how valuable you are.
You're right. You're right. And I
That's where
tell,
the problem comes in.
It's
I,
called
So
value
when you
proposition.
get into the level of where I am of being in the top 1% of the highest paid barbers, you know that there's barbers out there right now, soccer players, two of the top soccer players. One is paying his barber $16,000 a haircut, and he gets his haircut 3 times a week.
Ooh.
Another barber, his son, he's only doing $3,000 a week, and he gets his hair cut every other day. His son's barber charges $5,000,
Come
and his son
on.
gets his hair cut every 2 days.
Come on.
Stephen A. Smith said y'all charging too damn much.
Well, Stephen A. Smith don't know what he's talking about, and people don't know what they're talking about when it comes to charging
I
what you're
agree.
worth.
I
And
agree.
there's a lot of barbers that push back on that. They be like, "Man, are you just robbing the people?" Well, here that's because you don't understand.
I
I
agree.
need you to Can I break something down for y'all real quick?
We
That's
need
what
you
you
to,
that's what you're here for.
right?
Can Okay. So here's the deal. So one of my clients, his name is JB Smooth, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
We know
so
JB.
so I've done all the Caesar Palace commercials, NFL commercials with JB's, because JB's a spokesperson.
Yeah.
White Claw, AT&T, all of those commercials I do with JB. Okay. Now, here's the deal. If you were going to pay JB, let's just say, $900,000 for 60 seconds, if you're gonna pay him that kind of money, you don't think that the person that's making him look good, even though it's just a bald head and a mustache with wax on it, you don't think I'm worthy of getting paid top dollar for that? You think I should just sit back and allow them to pay me the $500 rate? No, I need 7,000.
Mm.
And that's through the
That's
original
through
setup. That's not through him. That's through
exactly. That's
whoever's
through the
hiring you to
production.
come. Yes,
That's
yes.
through the production. But not only do I get that, but I also get what they call a box rental fee. The average box rental fee for Hollywood is between $20 and $50. I
Box rental
charge
fee.
$500.
What's a box rental fee?
Yes,
That means
please.
every time you pull your clippers out, they're renting
Oh,
your clippers.
Mm.
oh I
Okay.
need I need to take
So
some notes on
that's a
that.
box rental fee. I
Box
charge
rental.
$500.
Okay.
Then to get me on a plane, that's another $2,500 each way.
Mm.
Okay. So I did a 7-minute haircut, got paid $7,000, then came back and got another 5,000 each way. I mean, 2,500. That puts us at 12,000, and it's a 2-day shoot. So now you're gonna put me, which it's only a day shoot, but they pay you for the second day if you have to go in. So then I got another $1,000 for the box rental fee. So that turned out to be $13,000 for 7 minutes work.
Mm.
But DL, barbers are on here saying, yeah, that's just you.
No, it's not just me. What it is that we have to put ourselves in position. We have to put ourselves in position. You don't have to have a celebrity client to get paid.
Mm.
Our
That's true.
customers are going to pay us, because you have to understand something. I work to get there. But listen, Hollywood did not make that money for me. All American did not make that money for me.
Speaking.
Snowfall didn't make that money for me. Grownish didn't make that money. I don't get paid that kind of money. I get paid the money that I've made. What I've done is the little bit of money that I got paid from the barbershop, standing from behind that chair. I took
Mm.
the little that God gave me and I invested it and then turned it into something big. And I was
Mm.
unapologetic and unafraid to charge people my worth. Now they could say I ain't paying that, and I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that, but I'm not going to get outside of my comfort zone. And what that means is I'm not going to pack my bags for a picture.
Mm.
I'm not
Mm.
doing that. I
Mm.
can't take that picture to the Wells Fargo and buy a house. I can't take those followers and go to Bank of America and go buy a car. It doesn't work like that. I
But
have to put the
that's the
money
new
on the board.
money though.
Excuse me.
And I'm saying that's the new money to these youngsters, like
But
followers
listen,
and
but popularity doesn't equate to profits.
yeah, you're right.
And
Unless you're doing it on a big scale.
You're right.
And most barbers aren't doing it on a big scale. Most barbers focuses are really, to be honest with you, we are our target market is targeted wrong. And what that means is we are targeting ourselves for other barbers to look at us to get likes from,
You a
Mm.
bruh,
I've heard that before,
bruh,
as
and I'm glad.
opposed to
Go ahead.
the community that you
bruh.
are in. And that's who you should be targeting, because me, I'm not getting my hair cut by another barber.
Yep.
DL, you are
Yep.
knocking the nail on the head. I tell these barbers all the time, quit hashtagging. You live in California, putting down LA barber, or live in Sacramento, LA barber, New York barber, Atlanta barber. You're in Sacramento. Put the area that you're by, because those are the people that's going to come and support you, not all these other people.
So now let's talk about, can I just switch reels on that same on this same note,
Yeah,
because we
yeah.
here. Okay. So I just want to help them understand how they create this income. Okay. Number one, why focus on your popularity instead of focusing on your profits?
Hmm.
Here we go. My ex girlfriend, who was a hairstylist, she's booked out 6 months in advance.
Damn.
You miss your appointment, you ain't getting to see her for another 6 months.
Mm.
So everybody who's in her queue, those people stay in that queue. And
Mm.
she's booked out for 6 months. Barbers have the ability with all of these booking apps that they're so proud of. Why are we not focusing on how can I make my Tuesday very booked up? How
Yep.
can I make my Wednesday very booked up, to the point where now, listen, in order to get to me, it's gonna be 3 months out. We're not there yet.
No.
Some of us, some barbers are, but we're not there. That's where our focus should be. Because guess what? With that little bit of money that you making, being booked out like that, that's the money you take and go buy some bricks under your feet. That's the
And that
money that you go buy
Hey,
that
hey.
duplex with.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that's what I
bricks.
that's
Bricks is
that's
buildings, right?
That's
Because
right.
yeah, he ain't
That's
talking about
some
right.
of
no
these cats,
he talking about
they
keys.
reading, they reading bricks.
Look, this
You
is
see
where I
what I'm
wanted to
saying?
get to. This is where I wanted to get to you with the business side, the investment side. I'm glad we kind of organically went there, because this is the side where the average barber is going to take their money, and the decision making that they do with it is going to determine their next 10, 20, and 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we see you doing some big moves, man. And I really want to make sure we take this opportunity to where when people watch this video back, they can they can kind of reevaluate what they're doing with their money, because right now barbers are making more money than they ever made. I mean,
Ever.
barbers are coming out of barber school making $40 a cut. We was just
Mm-hmm.
talking on stage this morning about how we was tripping off of going from $10 to should we move it up to $12? You know what I mean? And now they're coming out of school doing that. So you're building in Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm.
You've been building in Costa Rica. This is unheard of for barbers, man. And
Mm-hmm.
and I want to bring this up not as a flex, but as a stretch. A stretch in the mind of how far out you got to think from your chair.
Mm-hmm.
People always say they want to get away from behind the chair. I'm like, wait, why you want to do that so quickly? Why not make as much as you can behind the chair, become a barber investor? Like, you
Mm-hmm.
learn to use that money and grow it. And I think you're a perfect example of that if we could dig into some of what you've been doing. So you've been
Mm-hmm.
building in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Um, First of all, why invest there instead of the US, Mexico, or Africa? Why Costa Rica?
Well, first of all, I have properties here in the U.S. too.
Okay.
I have properties in Dallas. I had a whole like a bunch of properties in Dallas, which I end up selling. I had properties in Arizona, which I end up selling. My vacation homes in Arizona. I just wanted to branch out, and I wanted to do something different. So it's not going to stop there. The next place from there is Bali. From Bali, it's Thailand.
Damn.
From Thailand is going to the Philippines. So I'm not just stopping in Costa Rica. We're going to get finished with these projects and we're going to move on to the next. Barbers are entrepreneurs. And barbers have the ability to take the money that they're making and do something very, very good with it. But we have to make good choices. We have to make wise decisions. So when we're talking about barbers making $40 for a cut, and we're talking about barbers, going from that average $25, I challenge barbers to understand something. Where are you working at? First, because your geographical location should dictate how much money that you're getting paid in your area if you're working in a shop every single day. Case in point, if you're in a upper scale where your barbershop is in an upper scale, why don't you challenge yourself to go out there and look? All you got to do is type in the annual salary demographic for your area, and it'll tell you there the people make between 85 and 100,000 or 55. And so now you're able to justify how much money that you're charging an
Mm,
average client that lives in that area. If you put your barbershop in the area where they're doing 150 to $250,000 average annual salaries, then why would you be charging $40?
Mm.
So
mm,
here's the problem. We don't know how to count and we don't understand inflation. So yeah, you might be getting $40, but is $40 actually making the nut that pays for your bills every month? And sometimes the answer is no.
mm.
Yeah.
So in other words, you got a car note, you got rent, you got some barbers and stylists have children. So all of this is adding up. Are you actually living the life that you truly want to live, even though you're getting $40?
So, what are you gonna say to the barber that wants to transition from cutting to getting into that investor world?
Well,
What's the first step?
first of all, number one, surround yourself around barbers who are doing that. I
Hmm.
don't believe, and I'm going to just be perfectly honest with you. I don't believe in hanging out with broke barbers.
Mm,
I'm sorry. I just don't believe in it. And the reason why is because if you go to a barbershop and everybody in that barbershop is broke, then how do you grow?
mm,
How, and this is no flex on nobody. But how do you grow? You need to be around people that's doing what you want to do in order for you to get there. That's where mentorship comes in. But if
Yes.
everybody in there broke and everybody got a challenger and a charger, challenge yourself to do more and get around people that's going to where you want to go.
damn.
Speaking
Forget the
about
car, get old Honda and say, listen, man, I'm gonna ride this Honda until I get this duplex.
Mm.
speaking
We
about
don't always have to flex.
mentorship, who is your mentor?
Man, listen. My mentor number one is Win Clayball. Okay, and he is the director of Paul Mitchell, the education division of Paul Mitchell, right? And so that's just one. Another one of my mentors, believe it or not, is my mother,
Hmm.
Mm.
right? I love my mom to death. I'm an only child, and when I tell you my mom has wise wisdom, my mother reads at least 4 to 5 books a week.
Damn.
And did you guys know that the average millionaire reads 4 to 5 books a week and the average person reads 1 book a year and most don't finish?
Yes, I believe that.
I believe that.
So, in
I
other
believe that.
words, what are we doing in order for us to get to that next level? We have to surround ourselves around people who are doing the things that you want to do. If you really want to be on some kind of styling team or whatever, you need to be around barbers. And it don't have to be in your shop, but you need to start hanging out with barbers or contacting barbers that are on that platform that gets to help you get there so they can invite you out so you can say, hey man, can I just come watch? Hey man, can I just come seek? Hey, whatever it takes. But we have to be willing to be humble enough to ask those people, hey, I would love to learn how to do the stock market. Hey, I'd love to learn how to invest. Do you know, as long as I'm motivating people, I get a bunch of DMs, I get a bunch of views, I get a bunch of likes. But the minute I start talking about living debt free, I get hardly nobody in my DMs.
Mm.
Mm. That's
Those
interesting.
properties, those properties that I have in Costa Rica, I pay for those free and clear. I don't have loans on them. I pay for my own them free and clear through standing behind that chair, not
Wow.
through Hollywood. Hollywood money is not true money that people really believe. They think what it is. We don't get paid that kind of money, what y'all think it is. It's not that.
That's what I love about
But
your story is how
yeah,
you credit the chair so much, and I'm always trying to poke at that because I really want people to hear it. We're hearing people in schools, DL, when we're speaking at schools, they ain't even got behind the chair, and they're already talking about getting away from behind the chair. I'm like, what? You ain't even got nothing out of it. Do you understand what this industry can do for you?
But how do you get away from the chair? And that's what a lot of barbers and COVID started this frenzy. I want to. I'm getting me a suite. How do you get a suite when you don't have clientele?
T Melly.
That
T
doesn't make sense.
T
Why
talk
not?
about that all the time.
And see, when we all came up, we were hanging out with barbers who were better than us,
Real talk.
right? And
yes.
them fades had to be a fade. There wasn't no such thing as enhancements and guns and painting, you had to fade.
Mm-hmm.
And when somebody say, "Give me a Philly fade," they didn't want to see no line.
Mm-mm.
Right. And so here we are now. We're running away from people who have the skills, because I don't need them because I got Instagram. I don't need them because I got YouTube. But listen, you're only as good as your last fade. So you can never really elevate your business when we're not around people who are elevating that business, and you see them actually doing it every day. The way I believe is to live by example, to lead by example. And when you have barbers out there who are truly leading by example, most of those barbers are not on Instagram.
Man.
They are, but they ain't. They got
Yeah.
1,600 followers,
Yeah.
450 followers. They don't care about that. What they care about is making sure their clients are happy, right?
How,
And you don't have to be the best barber to get paid the top dollars.
No, you do
that's
not.
Most
Tamel.
barbers
Tamel
I
say
know
that
Do
that
all
are
the
not.
time.
so-so,
Do not.
most barbers that I know that are so-so are the ones who are homeowners.
Hmm.
Man.
Those are the ones who have all of the sweet things. The kids go to the best schools. They got health insurance. They got life insurance. They got investments. Because you know what? All they are is they concentrate on making their customers feel good. You stop
That's
looking
it.
at what's Instagram saying and go to what really is happening. A lot of these people are not that good. I'm not a hell of a barber. I'm a consistent barber.
That word is very valuable when you want to reach success. Is be consistent. Here's my question for you: is social media good or bad for the industry? Now I know it's got its
You
goods
should
and its bads,
you should throw
but
the
for
hot
you,
topic up on that. You should throw the
yeah,
hot topic up on that. That's a good
I
one.
do want to know from your perspective, because we talked
Okay,
about
hold on a
where
second.
we
Hold on a second.
were.
Because hold on a second before you go there. I want to go back to your question with Costa Rica. Okay. The reason why I chose Costa Rica is because when COVID hit, I spent some time in Costa Rica, and I spent a month and a half in the jungle, in the woods, barefooted,
Mm.
and I lived off the land, and I had a lot of time to have conversations with God, a lot of prayer. And God has said something to me. He said, "Why are you so willing to go above and beyond for everybody else, but you won't do it for yourself?"
Mm,
Ooh.
And that right there cut me to the core, to the point where I started crying so much, to the
Mm.
point where, where you crying so hard, it's hard to breathe,
Yes.
in, because it was like I was letting out so much hurt and so much pain. I never seen rain before until I was in Costa Rica. And what I mean by that is to actually sit there and not have nothing to do,
Man. It was
right?
beautiful, wasn't it?
And oh my God, and to see monkeys and sloths walking by in the rain, and you just
ooh,
sitting there.
Man.
No social media, no TV, no nothing. I'm just me and God, right?
Man.
And your food is off the plants that's on the property, right?
Ooh,
And
living off the
and and I'm
earth.
living in a tree house, right? Completely open, right? So that right there helped me understand that my life is more than just standing behind that chair, right?
Man.
So I got on a FaceTime with one of my barbers, and he said, "Listen," he said, "this is the first time I've ever seen you like this." And I said, "Like what?" He said, "Man, normally you got like these lines in your forehead, and your
Ooh.
skin is different." And he said, "Man," he said, "Man, I ain't being funny or nothing, but your energy's different."
Whoa.
Right? And he said, "Why don't you stay?" And I said, "Boy, I can't stay here." He said, "Why?" He
Mm.
said, "You got money. You got things. You could do whatever you want to do. Why not?" And then I started thinking about it. I said, "You know what? I could." And so then that was the quest to start looking. Now, I didn't buy where I was at. I ended up buying where I wanted to go ride horses at, and which was a place I've never been before. And soon as I put, now mind you, I've been barefooted for a month and a half. So when I put my foot on the ground for the first time in that place, something said, "This is home. This is it." And when I
Man.
tell you, in a matter of 3 seconds, I was like, "This is home." And I end up buying a hotel on that same street a year later. I end up buying five more properties. I bought five properties in 5 days.
Let's go.
And since then I started building. But the reason why I'm giving you this story is because I want you guys to understand that I was so caught up with making sure my customers was taken care of all the time, not taking time for myself, not
Mm.
taking time for my family, not taking time to spend with the relationship that I had at the time. Never. And you know, and those things right there, I found that was so important to just take time to smell the roses, take time to enjoy life. And when you stand behind the chair, as long as I've been standing behind the chair, and a lot of other barbers from this platform and the newer, younger barbers that are out there, please do not become a prisoner behind that chair. You know, there's a time and a place for everything, but if you spend all your time behind that chair, life is going to pass you by. And
Okay,
I didn't want that to happen.
before we switch, T, I have one last question about this particular area, and I can't let him walk away without this. Um, what you just said, you just gave us two different dynamics. I mean, totally, we were totally left. Everything is give to your client, serve. Excuse me, we were talking about selflessness, and then we brought it all the way around to caring
Hmm.
about yourself, in the midst of this. So
Hmm.
for people that are jumping in the middle, I want to make sure they understand the different dynamics you took us through. You could come in right now and you could think that this is all it was about, but we came from talking about serving in this industry. Um, I think the biggest thing people could take away from your story is figuring out things that they could apply to
Hmm.
get themselves to that ability to be able to do this. So my
Hmm.
last question in this segment, this part is, how important is passive income for barbers today? Because it sounds like your abilities came from the decisions you made from all the hard work and money you did in barbering.
That's right. I did all of that, but listen, and even standing behind the chair, I didn't make goop globs of money. I just
Mm,
didn't, right?
Oop globs.
I just did. I didn't. I can pump it up and say, yeah, I was rolling around in Bentleys and Ferraris, and I was. But the difference was they came through investments. They didn't come
mm,
through standing behind that chair. And
mm,
so passive income is a very strong part of income. Now, I'm going to be disrespectful right now,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I'm going to
please.
hurt some feelings, and I'm going to ruffle some feathers. But once you are able to understand and hear the words that's coming out of my mouth, some people are going to be offended, and some people are like, man, that's where I need to be. Understand this. If you are going to work to pay your bills, then you're doing something wrong. Period. What does that mean? We work hard, folks, as barbers, but with that money we make, we have to understand something. How many people do you know that's making, now, mind you, this is just on $20. If you can do three haircuts in an hour, how many people you know that's making $60 an hour?
Right.
Man, we talked
If you
about
can do
this.
two haircuts in an hour and you charging $50, how many people you know making $100 an hour?
$100.
So
I
how
just
is it
said
that you
that.
telling me that you broke?
Mm,
What?
How is it that you telling me that, man, I ain't making no money? Use a lie.
mm,
What's happening is you're spending it as you make it.
mm.
And
Management.
so it doesn't equate to what you think it is because by the time you walk out the door, by eating good, by buying weed, by buying Jordans, by doing all of the things that you normally do, because you know once you go back to the shop, you're gonna make it. But it's very hard to create passive income when you're working from Saturday to Tuesday.
Mm,
What I mean by that, that means you got money Saturday and you got to get back to the shop by Tuesday because you ain't got no more money in your pocket.
mm,
We are making a lot of money, but we're
Lots.
spoiled.
Lots.
And like I said, a barber making $20 and doing two haircuts is $40 an hour. You do, and if some barbers is charging $75, that's $150 an hour.
mm,
Here's some of that too. DL is that they riding some of these nice cars, staying with their parents, and ain't got no savings.
But again, what are you doing with the money that you're making? God says He's telling you, don't be a slave to the lender.
Hmm.
mm.
And most of us are slaves to the lender. I would rather you ride in a Honda that can get you to work and you're thankful for that Honda every single day, but you are able to keep every dollar in your pocket than spending $500 a month on
I love
something
it.
that is really depreciating in value.
I love it.
I find that a lot of people do those things to impress other people.
Yeah, but while you're impressing, you're getting older.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
man.
And see, one thing about it is that fly car that you got now, ain't nobody gonna remember in 3 years.
They really ain't, man. And when it's in the
Those
shop and
cars
needing
change all the
a
time.
whole
But
overall,
I tell you
yep.
what, but if you got some property that's appreciating that you could have bought when it was only this amount and now it's double,
Yeah,
but you didn't want to do that, is because it's so far-fetched. It's really not far-fetched when you get the right mentor. And the
yeah,
way we do these things is we take the little bit, a part of what you earn, you keep. I'm gonna say that one more time. A part of what you earn, you keep. Pay your debts. Whoever you're indebted to, that is your slave master. Whoever that is, whether it be Wells Fargo, Bank of America,
Your
anybody you
mama.
owe, your mama, whoever, pay your debts.
That's
So
real,
once
man.
you're out of debt, let me tell you something. When you don't have no debt, your mind, you think differently.
You
You
ain't lying.
move differently.
You ain't
And you
lying,
don't
man.
want to go back. But the thing is that we have to change the way we do things. And how does it feel if you're making $30,000 a month and you ain't even cutting hair?
Mm,
mm,
How does that feel? What does that feel like to be able to create 50 grand a month?
freedom. It
Right?
creates
And so,
vision and creativity.
right. And so, but listen, in order for those things to happen, you know how what had to happen for me? I had to start getting around people that was making 200,000 and 300,000 a month.
yeah,
Got you.
I
Got
couldn't
you.
hang around the barbers in my city. I had to
Got you.
go outside my comfort zone in order to start being around people that this is what they love to do. See, a poor mindset is how many properties you got. A rich mindset says how many doors do you own.
Yeah, man.
mm.
See, because if you got a triplex, you got 3 doors.
3 doors.
But
Mm-hmm.
somebody else might say, "Oh, I got one
Well,
triplex." No,
yeah.
sir, you got
Mm-mm.
3 doors of three
Three
streams of income.
doors.
When
3 streams.
you own a barber shop, how many chairs do you have? Some barbers will say, "I got 10 chairs." Okay, I beg to differ. Let's bet $100. You got 9. How
Yeah,
Cause
you
you
gonna
cutting
tell
them.
me? Well, then bet me then.
yeah, yeah.
Bet me. If I bet you got 9. No, I don't. I got 10. And then you know what they always do in these seminars? They always get one of the barbers that work for 'em. How many chairs in the barber shop? Man, you got 10. All right, put up the $100 then, Bill. Put it up. I ain't never been to your barber shop. I guarantee you got 9 chairs. And guess what happens? As soon as I break it down to them, they find out they only got 9 is
Yeah,
because you are not paying yourself boo for it. So
sure
that
ain't.
chair is
Woo!
Yeah, that's
hello.
facts. Facts.
Woo!
So that
DL.
means you got 9 chairs. Now here's the gem that's getting ready to be dropped. What if you was to take one chair and put that under as investment? So if you charging, let's just say two hundred and
$200.
fifty dollars
Yeah. Oh damn.
a
Yeah.
week, and that's $500 every 2 weeks. That's $1,000 a month. That's $1,000 times 12. That's $12,000. That if you was to put that in a separate bank account, and all it went to is you never commingled that money at all. That's $12,000 can go towards your down payment on your new project,
Yes,
Damn.
sir.
Damn, DL.
right? But
Okay,
we
so
don't look at it
check.
like that because we have to understand
Take a
our first
breath.
management of owning salons, owning barbershops, owning buildings. If you own a shop, manage those chairs wisely.
Mm. I love
Because
that,
that is
man.
your first. Some barbers who own shops, who own salons, you make more money than somebody owning a building. But
Mm,
because we commingle the funds, you never really see the value of the
Damn.
money that's coming in.
Damn, not
Here's
we
the
enough,
got
other
man.
thing. Here's the other thing. You have to live below your means.
that's it right there. Stop eating lunch every day, buying lunch. Stop going and buying breakfast every day. Live below your means.
And what I mean by that is that Instagram is steroids for a barber trying to open up a barber shop. So you starting out with 10, 12, 15 chairs. How much is that going to cost on the big scheme of things with AC, with all of the things that you need to keep that thing open and get barbers who truly are down for the cause?
Man, I
As
learned
opposed
that.
to open up a barber shop like myself. I'm gonna open up a shop that I know for a fact I don't need none of y'all.
Mm.
Because I
Damn.
have found myself understanding, watching my friends go through it.
Bruh.
And when you become a slave to the barbers that work in your shop because you can't fire them, even though they're a
Bruh.
cancer, because you can't know if you
Woo.
lose them, you might lose your shop or you might lose your car.
DL, you're preaching what I be preaching.
Yeah,
Man,
that's
You see what I'm saying? So the thing is that there's let me tell y'all something.
tell us something.
So I'm very serious about a clean bathroom, right? I
I'm with you on that.
despise a stinky, pissy bathroom. So when I would fly out of town with all of the traveling, and I tell my barbers, listen, don't have that barber, don't have no shop with no toilet paper. Don't I have hundreds of rolls of toilet paper, hundreds of rolls of paper towels. There should be no reason there's cardboard in that in that bathroom. There should be no reason that that bathroom smells like a gas station.
I
Period.
love it. I love it.
Right? So one time I flew in, I didn't tell them I was coming back. They wasn't watching Instagram and Facebook because I wasn't posting. And I flew home and I got there early before everybody got there. And I went and checked the shop and it was okay. But the bathroom smelled like the gas station on highways Route 66, right?
Ah,
Where truckers were at, right?
nah.
Piss around the toilet. I took pictures of everything. And then I watched my barbers. They like, when you get back? I'm like, oh man, I got back early this morning, so I just decided to come on in. So everything's everything. We playing music and everybody getting through the day. It was a Saturday, and by 11 o'clock, I watched all of the barbers go into the bathroom. Every single
Mm,
one of them. I
mm,
didn't say nothing. By 12 o'clock, I said shop announcement. When they hear that, they cut the music down.
mm.
I said shop announcement for everybody in the shop right now. That's in the chair. You guys are gonna finish getting your haircuts. For everybody else, you need to talk to your barber because all of the barbers are fired.
Damn.
And I fired every single one of them right there on the spot.
Nobody wanted to like
Damn.
bust your head open.
I didn't care because I
Dude,
come
I
from the
love
projects.
this
I'm
is
a I'm
this
a
is
scrapper.
standards. We talking about standards again.
I'm
We
a
going back to the
scrapper.
beginning.
DL.
So I fired every single person, and they said, "Yo, man, what's up?" I said, "Ask your barber,"
I
because I told
love
them time. I'm
this.
not going to go over and be arguing and yelling and screaming in
Yep.
front of people. I
Yep.
told you time and time again, no woman wants to sit on a stinky, pissy toilet.
No.
Man.
No child needs to see an unsanitary barbershop. So
Nope.
therefore, since you don't understand, I'm gonna help you overstand. I have a standard, and since you cannot live by the standards that I'm governing this barbershop, then
Man.
guess what? Y'all can go. So guess what? I got rid of all of them. I did not allow another person in my barbershop for 3 years.
Damn.
Damn, DL.
I don't listen. I can afford to pay for it myself.
Yes.
But guess what? When I leave, shop clean. When I come back, shop gonna be clean.
Mm.
Another
And
time.
that's your name too. That's your
That's
name.
right.
Even when you're
Another
not
time,
there.
another time the barbers, I told them I don't allow rap music in my shop at all. Okay. Because the problem is I don't ever want people to come in and there's a woman there and y'all playing bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. That is not going to work for my standard at
Mm.
all. I cannot allow that to happen. And my shop is nice. Well, was
Mm.
What's
nice.
the
I
name of
lost it
your
in the
shop?
fire. It was Tangles and Locks, but I lost
Tangles
it
and
in the
locks.
fire. Okay.
That which I wanted to get to next. But go
So
ahead.
so what I ended up doing was is I came in one day and we got Pandora and they were playing I think it was Ice Cube. I walked right in, I cut the music off, and I just spent like almost 2,500 on a state of the art sound system for them and TVs all the way around the whole shop, right? The sound system alone was 2,500, not including all of those big screen TVs that I put up in there for them. And then they all play separate different channels, right? Soon as I heard that music, I called the guy, the audio guy. I said, "Come take all of this out." I took the music out, and they didn't have music for over a year.
Damn.
I'm not playing, brother. I will not allow you to lower the standard of my shop, and I will not allow a cancer to stay in my shop.
I love that, man. I love it. And I've been on the other end where you where you described having to keep somebody because you're not prepared to feel that void. You're not prepared to feel it financially, and it's one of the worst feelings ever. And I never wanted to have that feeling again, man. So I
Oh,
definitely
so you've
salute
been
you and
there.
respect that. I've been
Oh
there.
yeah.
I've been there, and
Mhm.
and I have my standards are on paper. So the type of shop I run, you can't walk in and say, "Hey, man, I see you got an empty chair. How much is booth rent?" Nah,
Mm-hmm.
you ask that. I'm like, "Hey, I appreciate you showing interest. Would you like to schedule an interview? That way, I could, we could share more of what even comes with renting the chair here. There's
Mm-hmm.
much more than the chair. There's expectations on both ends. So I
And, and
like to
and when
get
you
that
say
out.
on both ends, that means the owner has to play his part too.
Exactly,
And a
exactly.
lot of
That's why.
times we
Yep.
have owners that try to rule with an iron fist, and I don't think that's fair. I
Nope.
don't think it's right. I think barbers that come in to work in your shop, I think it should be a collective. I mean, I think you have your standard, and everybody should have a standard.
Yes,
But I
sir.
think, but I truly believe that we have to have, we have to roll. I didn't fire them just on the spot. This was this was a constant.
You've
Uh,
already
uh,
worked on it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean
We
we've talked about this
talked
multiple
about it.
They
multiple
fired
times. So
themselves. They fired
that's right.
So they
themselves.
did.
Right.
That's right. But when I'm there, I make sure that toilet is shining. I make sure that porcelain is clean. I make sure there's toilet paper. I make sure the sink does not have any debris because some people will get their hair done and then go move their hair around in the sink and leave
In
all
the
the
sink.
hair in the
Yep.
sink. I'll go behind people and I'll do those things. But if I'm doing it, I want you to do it
You
too.
want
Treat
everybody
this
else
like
to
it's
do
your
it.
own because I'm hardly ever there.
I got to give you this. This is what I call it, DL. You're a real estate man, so you know what a HOA is. For y'all
Mm-hmm.
that don't know what a HOA is, it's a homeowners association. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people put them down because they're like, oh, they telling me what color I could paint my house. They're telling me what doorbell I can and can't put on. Well, being in the real estate industry, I had to educate people. It's not just about telling people what to do. They put that in place to hold the value of your investment up. So therefore, if I'm out showing you a house and I pull up to the house, you like it online, but we pull up and then next door you see engine parts all in the street, oil stains,
Mm-hmm.
people out loitering, smoking, doing whatever. You're not. It's going to bring the value down to you.
That's
So
right.
those standards are there for when you sell. Anytime you buy something or you get into something, you have to think about your exit. So when you
Correct.
buy a place, you're supposed to be thinking about, hey, is this house going to be sellable when it's time? So what I do
Mm-hmm.
with my barber team is I love that approach you said. I don't even call myself the owner. They call
Mm-hmm.
me the owner. We're partners.
I'm like you.
I'm like the quarterback. You know what I mean? The quarterback has an important job, but guess what? The running back, the lineman, everybody else does too. So it's a team movement. But what I tell
Mm-hmm.
them is, you are a business owner. You rent this chair here, this station here as an independent contractor, but you decided to rent this place and run your business in a place that has standards. So I tell them to
Mm-hmm.
look at it like a HOA. I'm not here to tell you what to do. And none of this is a surprise because before you even sign the paper, I've already showed you all the standards. And
Mm-hmm.
it's going to filter out the people that can't see the value in that anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
now when you decide to sign the paperwork here, you've said, you know what? I like these standards. These are in alignment with the type of place I want to run my business in. And it's going to add value to your business. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's not an iron fist type of thing. It's an agreement to operate on a higher standard.
Mm-hmm. Character is a commitment to a set of values that's unwavering,
Mm, mm,
right? And so when you show good character at your barbershop and or your beauty salon, and you're the one that's having those values and those standards, everybody else has to follow through. If not, then they need to go.
mm.
Period. Because I can tell you, we don't treat barbers and stylists don't treat their business like Ritz Carlton treats their business. Now there's some salons out there that do, and some barbershops that do, but it's very you can pick them out. But when you're talking about a business that is run to a high level of standard, you can get out of line if you want to, and you will be fired, and they will replace you.
Point blank.
You're not just coming in wearing what you want to wear or show up when you feel like showing up. It don't work like that. But we're not scared of the owners. See, that's the problem. They ain't scared of you.
Mm-mm.
I can go somewhere else. But if that's what you feel, then that's where you should be.
And the point from the jump, right?
But
I
we
want.
shouldn't have to argue with each other. It shouldn't come to that. I should be
Nope.
able enough to respect you
Yep.
as a fellow barber, as a fellow master barbers, and you should respect me because this is my shop, and these are the standards that we are governed by, and that includes myself. I
Yes.
can't tell them to do these things, and I
And you
don't do
don't
those things.
exactly.
Yeah,
I,
I have a saying that I say that no one man is bigger than this shop, not
Hmm.
even me.
yeah.
Like I need to be able. Anything I ask you, I need to be willing to do or do it as well. So
That's right.
That's
If
good
you can
leadership
lean,
right
if
there.
you can lean, you can clean.
Hey, I
you
like all
can
this. And look, before
clean
we,
like a
I
cow.
do want to switch gears and get to the fire real quick, but I want to say, I say everything you say, but I don't even say my shop. I say our shop. This is
That's
our
me.
shop. This is ours. Seriously, and we all committed to the same standard. So what do we even? There is no argument. It's just going back to what we originally committed to. And now, if any of us are falling off from the commitment, then that's something that's easy to point out, even if it's on my end. Oh, I slipped because I said on paper that this would be happening and I didn't. Let me correct myself. So I should be able to come to you and do the same.
Amen.
We there's a thing that we have to understand. We plan our poverty by not planning our profits.
Mm,
And what that means is that if you are not planning your profits, then you're planning for poverty.
Yes.
mm,
Each day that we wake up, we should wake up with a gratitude attitude. Each day we should wake up and say, what did I do yesterday that I can do better today? How many clients can I bring in? Because we've lost the basic fundamentals of going out there, shaking hands, kissing
Yeah.
babies. We should be still treating this industry as if we were running for public office.
man,
We don't
I
do that
feel
no more.
that.
We
Oh
expect
no.
social media to do
Yep.
that for us.
Do all the work.
How can we grow our businesses when we're not even going outside no more?
Yeah.
And then when we do pass, I mean, I ask barbers all the time, like, D man, I'm trying to build my clientele. I said, when last time you passed out business cards? They be like, well, I don't really do
Business
nothing like
cards.
that. That's not a deal no more. How many times? And if you're gonna pass out business cards, why would you pass out business cards at Ross when you need to be passing them out at Whole Foods?
Mm,
You talking about you want a $50 cut, but you over there passing them out at Ross and Marshalls. That's a discounted space. They
Hmm.
looking for the discount. They not looking. They not
damn.
looking for the pay for the big stuff.
Hey,
Because
I
you
was
ain't
like,
been.
why you picking on Ross? Then I get it. I
Listen, I'm
get
a Ross shopper.
it.
Listen, this shirt came from Ross. I'm big on Ross, but I'm not gonna try to trump up no business from
You
Ross
you know your target. But see,
Yeah.
because that's not my
this goes to
target
the
market.
hybrid that I was talking about earlier. You're if with all respect, you fit that hybrid barber I was describing. You get the value of the social media, but at the same time, you still get the value of that face to face. That it's called a touch. You know what I mean? A real touch. I always remind people, social media is just a hook. It's a bait. You can't cut nobody here online.
No.
So as
Right, but
much as
here's the problem with that. Here's the problem with the social media thing. Even though you're doing what you're doing, it's very rare that people, from your neighborhood are coming to you to get their haircut if you're not targeting them. But
Yes.
what people buy of who they know, who they trust,
Yes.
and who
for
they
sure,
love.
for sure.
That's where you're gonna get most of your money from. So it's easy for me to go to the cashier at the grocery store because they see me all the time. It's easy for me to trump my business over there. It's easy for me to trump my business at the pizza joint when people coming by and getting a slice of pizza. It's easy for the coffee shop next door to bring in customers because they see the door open and everybody in there is getting down. It's easy to do that. It's very hard when you're not trying to target the people in your neighborhood to get cuts. You're targeting the wrong people. So when you ask me the question that we never got to, is social media an asset or a liability? Because
Yes,
that's what I
sir.
heard.
Yes,
Social
exactly.
media is both,
I know.
but you cannot rely on social media to do everything for you.
Everything. There you go.
Social media is a platform that before, when I was growing up, you had to pay hundreds and thousands of dollars to get a spot on the radio. Hundreds of
Yes.
thousands of dollars to get 60 seconds. Now you can connect with the world by a press of a button.
A press
So
Yep.
if
of a
you're not
button.
using your social media right, there's no way that I'm going to use my. You will never ever see me on social media smoking weed. Number one, I don't. I don't knock nobody who do. I say get high as you want to get high. But there's a time and a place for everything. You will never see alcohol in my hand or anybody taking a picture with me with alcohol because I don't drink. I don't want that on my platform, period. So what I'm saying to you is that when people, like, for example, let's look at a lot of the women who have a lot of followers. The reason why a lot of these women have a lot of followers, they don't have nothing to say, is because they booty out. It's because they breast out. It's because they look good. If they're not selling sex, then they don't have 250,000 or 1.5 million followers.
Don't be opening your DMs in the next couple of days because some women gonna be like, I put out good cuts. It ain't my
No,
I
no, we
ain't
ain't
do
talking about. We're not talking about barbers. I'm using that for an example
Gotcha.
of what we're not talking about barbers. We're talking about how people are using that platform. And we can all agree that a lot of they ain't got nothing to say. We ain't talking about barbers. We're talking about women. A lot of the pretty super bad women that's on these platforms, they ain't saying nothing, are they?
Sex sales, right?
That's right. But barbers, you selling your product. But the problem is, how can you sell your product and you not there to deliver the product?
Mm.
What do I mean by that? It's one thing to sell the product. It's another thing to be in the barbershop waiting on the customer to walk through the door.
That part.
And so how do we bridge that gap? How do we have these Booksy apps, but yet and still you'll charge somebody for not showing up, you'll charge them for being late, but you won't get charged. How do they get compensated when you late?
We
Man, we
just
talked
talked about
about
this.
that today.
Yeah, we
How did
just
how
talked
does
about
that
it.
happen? And see, so in other words, our ecosystem is changing. And the problem with that is that we want to make the money, but if there's a lack of discipline,
Mm-hmm.
then he don't know what he talking about. Forget what he talking about. I thought this live was cool. No, see, once we start talking about discipline, then it starts hitting to home.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
It starts hitting where it don't feel good.
Yeah.
And the things that we want to do. If I want to increase $1,000, it's very easy for us to get $1,000 extra a month. But how do we do that? Dio, I would love to know. It's very easy. Increase your services. It's very easy. How much an average shave? What do you think an average shave should be?
I think $40.
Okay, that should be about average, right? I show my barbers how to do $100 shave every single time, and I showed them. I don't even charge them for the shave, and they be like, "Here go $100." Why? It's because of the things that I do to come along with that shave. If you getting a shave from me, you getting a facial, and I
Hmm.
always ask them that. Do you have the time? The
Mm.
facial's free. I put Beats by Drake on noise cancellations on with a sanitary cloth over the earbuds. And so you can't hear nothing that's going on in the shop. And it sounds like you in a massage therapy room.
Mm.
Your
They can't
level
hear
of
nothing.
experience is deep. I
I
mean, you wiping
close, I
shoes off, you putting earbuds in the ear, you giving facials, you giving shoulder massages. Your level of experience is deep, bro,
well,
and
the thing
that ain't
is that
happening often.
well, where I come from, when you used to pull up to the gas station, they would check your tires, they would check your radio, they would
Full
check your
service
oil,
for
they would
free,
give you do your windshield wiper. That was called full service.
full
That was for
service
free.
for free.
That's where I came from. So why would I lower my standards? That's why when barbers say, I can't believe you're getting paid that kind of money, why not when they are willing to pay you for it? They're not negotiating when they go to Bentley or a Porsche.
Man, or the
I
dentist.
gotta, you see what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you, they're not negotiating. They're coming to buy. The issue is what color and how soon can you get it to my house? Most people who buy Porsches and Bentleys, they don't even drive off the lot with them. They deliver it to their house.
Mm.
So the bottom line is, I'm telling you that when you create Porsche, Bentley, Louis Vuitton, they're not trying to chase after you for a discount. You don't see sales. They don't have to.
Mm.
When you provide A1 5-star service, people are going to pay you for A1 5-star service. And that's robbery without a gun.
Mm.
You're
Mm.
not tripping. They not tripping. But when you are doing piss poor work, but great haircuts, that's why you get paid what you get paid. Yeah, you do a great haircut, but you really didn't even listen to me to tell you that I was telling you that my girl is had a miscarriage. You just
Man,
let that go over your head.
actively listening. We talked about this
You
on stage
you
earlier.
how do you have headphones on cutting hair? Well, I got to get in my zone, DL. Really?
In your zone,
Ooh.
in your
Ooh.
zone.
But you missed it when I
Ooh.
told you that my wife said keep the hair over my lip because you had your headphones on. How do we have a connection?
Damn.
Damn,
That's a big one right there, man.
that's
So
cool.
you understand what I'm saying? When the
Heck
music is too
yes.
loud in a barbershop, How can we really have a genuine conversation when I literally have to try to talk over the
Yep.
music?
Yep. I just had to turn mine down the other day. I was like, wait, I love music. Music is like the air in my
I
shop.
can't live without it.
But it has to. I literally have to be able to hear what you're saying in front of me. So I had to bring it down, man.
Listen,
You
that is
just
so that's so
spot
wonderful
on.
that you did that. You know, here's what's something that's special. When I do some of my seminars, what I do is, and I do it especially at Paul Mitchell. What I'll do is I'll tell everybody to close their eyes. I'll always carry the speaker with me, right? And it has a nice sound. And what I'll do is I'll tell them to close their eyes, and I will recreate two different scenarios. The first scenario, I'll play some music, sounds very, maybe like maybe some jazz, very calming music. And then I say, how you doing, sir? Or how you doing, Mr. Brown? Dale will be with you right in a moment. Would you like some coffee? Would you like a glass of wine? Would you like some water? But I will get you in your seat. I will get you prepped and ready to go, and he'll be with you in 2 minutes, right? Then we walk away, and then for a minute I say, I'm gonna pause, keep your eyes closed. Then what they end up doing, then I'll come to the chair and I say, hey, how you doing, Mr. Brown? How's things going? It's good to see you. Know where I'm standing? I'm standing in front of them. I will say that while I'm doing. I'm not standing behind them, I'm standing in front of them,
Mm,
right? They're not looking in the mirror, they're looking at me because I'm looking at them in their eyes. Then I say, keep your eyes closed. Then what I do is I play some other type of music, some rah-rah music. And I'm like, hey dog, man, I'm tired of this shit, man. I've been waiting here, man, since 11, man. When I'm next, man. My appointment was at 11 o'clock, man. It's 12:30. It's like, man, you better go on with that shit, man. Going outside till I tell you to come on in. What is difference? Or how much do you want to pay for that as opposed to what you heard
mm,
in the beginning?
Yeah.
mm. I
That
like
is the
that. That's
difference.
that mental trip you took him on. I like that.
Right. So what I want people to understand is the environment that you create at your barbershops is what you're getting paid for.
It's the experience, man.
It's the
It is.
experience.
It's all
It's the
that.
experience. Yeah,
So
we got to switch gears, man, because this
flip
Man,
it.
is that I'm
Flip it.
telling you that,
man,
like we said
man.
last time, we just have to keep doing this, okay? I love
I
that.
said it. I said in the promotion, I said we're gonna have a part two. I'm speaking into
I
existence.
love it. I love it. Okay, all right. So giving back, man, giving back and barber advocacy.
Hmm.
What was your experience during the LA wildfires, man? How did it affect you personally? And I really wanted to make sure we jumped on this because we saw something in you that I've never seen in a barber, man. I had to check myself
Hmm.
after going back and looking at these videos. It made me want to step harder when I see any of our communities going through anything in the future. So anyhow, go ahead, man, please.
First of all, it was something that happened. We are very used to. I live in the foothills. I was raised in the foothills of Altadena, where it was impacted the most. We lost thousands of homes. Most of my friends lost their homes. I lost a childhood home that I grew up in, my barber shop after all of these years.
Your school
And
too, right?
yeah, oh, we lost everything. Grocery stores, schools, gas stations, you name it, it's all gone. Post office, pizza joints, coffee shops, everything's gone. It's a city that's without a city.
Mm,
Um, but the thing was is that for me, I went to Katrina when everybody told me not to go, and I went
Mm,
right
mm,
before the storm. And they say,
mm,
"Man, there's too many people out there losing their life. Deal, don't you dare go down there." But I could not go down to not allow uh, myself to sit there and watch my people who were underserved in a situation that can be very disastrous, and we not have the help.
mm.
So I went and volunteered with the Red Cross. They sent me out right away. And the sad thing about that, over 10,000 were deployed on the first run, and less than 100 African American people went. And that hurt me on the first run. And so for me, I'm the type of person that's always been willing to run into a storm, run into a fire, even though I've never experienced fire like that in my life,
Mm,
because I know what my role is as a community leader. Every barber, every stylist is a community leader. We are a pillar of our community. I don't think that we have a standard where barbers truly understand what our roles are. And that means when people have parents who lost their sons, they used to come to our shops, that we don't not support and go and help in some kind of way, of some kind of capacity. I've spent many days and many nights at the hospital of cancer clients who don't have nobody. And that hurt me to the core. That family will not even come to the hospital in their last dying days. So it's like, for me, that's just a part of who I am. I was hurt. I was honestly low key depressed. I got into a depression after the fires, but I was hurt most because my barbers in my barber shop didn't even help. I had to call on Instagram and call on a lot of my celebrity clients. I asked for help from everybody. And do you know, not no barbers except one out of all of the barbershops. Now Pasadena is the next city from us, which is below us. And we have a lot of barbershops. Do you know, not one barber chose to help? They want to do haircuts. Man, don't nobody need no haircut. They need food. They need
Mm.
water. They need clothes. I mean, imagine you leaving to your barbershop, bruh, and coming home to a house that's on the ground.
Damn.
And we talking about not just your house, but your neighbor's house.
Yeah.
Right. And so for me, you didn't have to be in that fire when I was in the fire. That was dangerous. Okay. But when the fires was over, I didn't stop. I fed over 300 people the first night.
Mm.
Yeah, I
Okay.
saw you bringing in water.
Water.
You were like a reporter. When we're done with this, I want all y'all to go check his page. And it's not just to it's really to just kind of check ourselves. Like I said, when I saw it, I'm like, man, I could have driven down to LA. You know what I mean? I was always checking on my kids. They're not too far from there.
Hmm.
But just the impact that our communities have on us for us to not pour back in when the community's suffering that way,
But
it really
yeah,
hit.
how much money have we taken out that community?
That's what I'm saying.
Bruh, without that
That's
community, we wouldn't have nothing.
that's what I'm
You see what I'm
saying right
saying?
there.
And so, there's a quote. I would like to I don't even know if I have it. Um, but the thing is, there was a
You just got
quote.
quotes to land by?
I keep
Please
stuff.
do. And
I
Sal
keep
Sal the
He
Barber asks,
ready.
what's his page name? It's DL Master Barber. So make sure to check him out.
Let me
DL
see if
Master
I have
Barber.
Wi-Fi. But the thing is that what is our standard as barbers? What do we do besides just cut hair?
Mm.
Is that all we do? Is just put hair on the floor? Are we just good hair cutters? Or are
Mm.
we people of the community? Do we support our community? Do we love on our community? Do we create other things that can help our community? That's at least for me, and I know a lot of other barbers do it other in other states. I've seen them do it. But do we and for our young barbers, because I love the young barbers so much, but they don't really have a standard, because the elder barbers is tired of them. They don't want to deal with them. They like, oh, they ain't listening, and they hard-headed, or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, we can't give up on our future, and those young
Mm,
barbers are our future. And if they don't listen, at least they could watch and see. Even though they don't want to listen to you, at least they gonna listen. When you see me, y'all know, when you see me, I'm dressed. I ain't playing around. I'm not gonna look like the barbers, all the other barbers on the stage, and they wearing jeans and basketball shirts, and I don't do that. That's not the level of standard that I was raised by. And I'm not knocking any barber who don't get dressed. But for me, I'm gonna get dressed because I get dressed because it's the way I want to be addressed.
mm,
So, and with that
mm,
being said, we have to create a standard that we know that is a safe space for us to go to our barbershops, to go to your two or the three barbershops. That should be a safe space. But how do we know when you don't have the lighthouse up and the light is not flashing?
mm.
How do we
You
That's a
not
good
right.
know to
one.
go to you?
You
All
right.
you do is cut hair and bounce. You cut hair and show up in a fancy car and
Take,
drive around the
take,
city.
take, take,
All
take,
that's all
take,
you do is
take, take,
take.
take.
Do you
But when
believe?
when I ask people, when people say, Dio, what, so how do you feel about this? How you feel? I said, listen, man, I don't care about my popularity. I care about how many people I was able to help. Do you know there's hundreds, not thousands, hundreds of barbershops that came out of my barbershop through all those years,
Mm,
came from teaching. I had 60 barbers out of the first group of barbers I had in China. I opened up the first barber school in China's history. And out of 60 barbers that graduated, 59 owned barbershops
oh, damn.
China, the country.
in China.
That's
And
amazing.
they sent me a collage of all of the barbershops, and each one
That's
of them was
fire.
standing in front of their barbershop. And they told me, don't
Bruh,
look at this until you get on the plane. And so
bruh.
I popped the flash drive in, and when I tell you I boo-hooed and I cried something terrible, because I remember when we first started. And I'm telling you, it's nothing like changing lives
Nope.
over profits.
Mm,
It's nothing like it. And I just want people, and I implore other barbers to give more, to love more, to show up when people need you, and not just show out when it's a good thing to do. It's not about the flash. It's about the service.
I love that,
And
man.
so the fire, I was able to extinguish fires. And after the fires was over, and after I did all of I was going out at 2 and 3 in the morning and going to the home base where the fire department was and asked them what they needed. And then I got online and I told people what I needed. And Paul Mitchell stepped up and they gave me blankets. They gave me over, like, I think it was 250 blankets, and each one of them
Wow.
had $200 in a gift certificate from Target. I
Mm.
still got some of the blankets, and I gave those to the first responders because they said they were cold at night. But it was things like that, that all you have to do is get out there and just use your voice. So when Instagram, when you asked me what is can it be a asset or liability, it became a asset for me at the time I needed, because all I did was, they say a squeaky wheel gets oiled. I squeaked, and
Mm.
people
Uh,
showed up. You see what I'm
Which
saying?
which actually led me to my last question in this one. A
Hmm.
lot of people think that people have this attitude of, you'll see people on social media like showing themselves giving, homeless people clothing or money or something. And a lot of people feel like, oh, they're just doing that for the camera. My question for you, because I saw you, to me, you became like a news reporter, man. Like
Hmm.
that's why I want them to go to your page and see it. You were literally like an anchor. Like you were
Hmm.
showing up in front of burning buildings.
Hmm.
You were like next to cars that were like burnt to nothing, and you could barely breathe in some of these situations, man. But for those people who think, oh man, people like to show that stuff for clicks or whatever, do you think that showing charity work publicly can help inspire others?
Well, here's the deal. I was in Oregon, and I was going to speak at a prison for 2 days, right? And I do it every year. And so it was freezing cold that night, and I flew in early, right? And I left the shop, and I went straight to the airport. So I still had what I had on from my shop clothes, plus I had all of my money that I had that I worked that day. And so I sent out a message to the people on Instagram who follow me. And I say, listen, I'm in Oregon right now, and the first person that DMs me, I will mentor you for the day and take you out to dinner. Right. So some lady called, and I mean DM me, and she gave me her number. I called her. She said, my husband loves you, and I would love for you to be able to meet with him, because all he does is talk about you. And he would be
Oh,
so surprised. So I said, give me the address. I went down, showed up, and so he told me where we can go have dinner. So we jumped in his car. I had to rent a car, and we're going down the street, and at the light, and it was freezing outside, and I seen this homeless guy, and he had the blanket over, but you can see he was shivering. So I told him to pull over. We pulled over. He filmed it, right? And I pulled out, and I gave him enough money for him to get a hotel room for at least a week. Okay. After that, we posted it. Okay. People got upset talking about, man, you ain't supposed to be doing that.
see,
You just
see.
trying to get clout. So I say, okay, so you mean like when Jesus had took the 5 loaves and the fish,
Mm.
Is that what you mean? Like that?
Mm.
And he used that as a metaphor to feed all of the flock. Is that what you mean? Then it
Mm.
got to, oh man, you just think that you a prophet. I said, no, a prophet is somebody who tells the future. I'm talking about the present.
Ooh.
So a lot of times people can get upset about that, but what it does for me, the people who actually follow me, they understand that the bottom line is I should do that too.
And that's what
There's
you
a
did
time,
for me, Dio. That's
you
what
see
you
what I'm
did for
saying?
me.
I should do that too. Because if they don't never see it,
There you go.
how do you know? I tell people, I challenge my people that I mentor all the time. Every time we meet, when we meet for the week, I say, what did you do this week for your homework assignment? Well, part of their homework assignment is to go to a restaurant and eat and scan the room, read the room, and see a person who might be needy.
Mm.
They might not need nothing, but look and see. Look at women. Their kids is running all over the place, and they just can't catch a break. Go up, don't say nothing to them. Tell the person who's serving them, I would like to pay for their dinner,
Mm.
and do this on your way out the door,
Mm.
and just walk away. I don't care what the price is, because we make enough money that we could do that,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And then just walk away. You don't know how that feels when I was really trying to figure out how I'm even gonna pay for this meal. You don't know when God, and that's what I told that guy when he started talking tough on Instagram, and one of my barbers said, Dio, don't respond to these people. I said, man, I have to on this. And I said, have you ever thought that maybe before he went to sleep that he said, God, please help me, save me,
Mm.
put me in a place that's something warm. And I just so happened to be driving down a street that I would have never been on unless I went and opened myself up to mentor somebody for the day. And then I answered his prayer. You don't know that, but I guess you got a direct connect with God like that. But it
Hmm.
was on my heart, and God sent me there on that street to pay for that man a room for a week. So
I
we don't
appreciate that.
know. We don't know what God, but when it's on your heart, how you know God didn't place that there for you?
Yep.
How you
Yep.
know you didn't change somebody's life?
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I
And
do.
so it's like we have to understand what our job is.
Yeah.
And we have to understand what our work is. So let me read this to you guys real quick. I want you to understand this. This is very important to me. And anybody that's watching, listen to this. There's a story about some people named Everybody, Somebody, and Anybody, and Nobody. There was a very important job to be done, and everybody was asked to do it. Everybody was sure that somebody would do it.
Hmm.
Anybody could have done it.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Anybody could have done it, but nobody did it. Somebody got angry about that because it was everybody's job. Everybody thought anybody could have done it. Nobody realized that everybody wouldn't do it. It ended up that everybody blamed somebody when nobody did what anybody could have done.
Hmm.
You answered
It's
my question
everybody's
10
job.
times. Thank you.
It's everybody's job.
But this is the deal. This is so me and Tamil, we do homeless drives every year. We get
Hmm.
closeout. We are real big on we're not doing it for the gram. We're doing it for our community.
Hmm.
Funny thing is, sometimes people will come to us after we do it and they'll say, "Why didn't y'all let us know?" And we like, man, it's so many people we know. This dude is like the mayor in his city. He's like he
Hmm.
knows so many people. I know a lot of people. You think you did tell everybody, and
Hmm.
then I go, okay, well we gotta tell people. Okay, well how do we tell people? How do we show people? We get on there and talk about it. It still
Hmm.
doesn't show it. So
Hmm.
one time I had my sons recording when we were doing our our give out, and they were able to document some of the process, some of the things that we never would put online. But it
Hmm.
showed the way that we prepare people. Hey, we're getting ready to go out here to these 10 cities. You're going to see needles. You're going to see weapons. You're going to see all this and that. Make sure to stay inside of people. Partner up when you go deeper in. We have to really debrief these people.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then when we actually interviewed some of the homeless people and they were sharing with us some of their experiences with the police and so forth, that year ended up being one of the biggest donations we ever gotten. We actually stopped spending money out of our pocket. We just started
Hmm.
spending time. because when people saw what we were doing, it encouraged them. They would tell us, "Man, I've been wanting to do this. I just didn't
Mm-hmm.
know where to do it." And we were
Mm-hmm.
like, "Well, we just go out and do it. Nobody told us where to do it." But we realized that was God showing us that you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to spend the money. You guys making the steps, but now you need to document it and show it. But sometimes it's hard for us because we really don't do it for that reason. And sometimes those voices, I won't even lie, those voices will push us away from it. But to hear you break down the reason to show it, and we've
Mm-hmm.
seen a little bit of the proof just by mistakenly showing some of it, it's inspiring me more to make sure that we do share what we out there doing, man. So that was big. I'm glad that you did document what you did and you showed it. And we know you're doing it for the right purposes. And I'm telling you, man to man right now, you made me go back and check myself. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, there's no way I'm gonna be hearing about stuff like this. LA is nowhere. I'm down there for other stuff, even just to give a day of your time to come
Mm-hmm.
down and help out with people. So just salute to you, man.
Well,
Big salute.
always remember, man, your destiny dictates your vision. And we all have that. And we all have a way of doing things, but we have to see things clearly. And a lot of times people think that the vision is what you see, but that's not what it
I was
is.
just about to ask you because it
Right?
seemed like it'd be flip flop.
Yeah, but that's not what it
Your
is. And
vision
so,
dictates your destiny. That what you're
yeah,
saying?
I
you
would think so.
you know what I mean? Because
Mm,
you the thing is the funny thing is your vision is the manifestation of your purpose. What you see. Because a lot of times it's what you see inside is already destined for you to do.
mm,
But when you have no vision, then you don't have a roadmap. You
damn.
have to have a roadmap to do that, right? Your vision is a function of your heart. See, where your heart lies, that's where you are. If your heart is about just
Believe
getting
that.
haircuts and just about
Yeah.
getting money and just about getting that grind and can't nobody outwork me, can't nobody outgrind me, can't nobody, then that's where your heart is, and there's nothing wrong with that. But how do you get to bless others when all you do is stay inside that barbershop?
Damn.
How do you get to bless others when you make so much money and you hear somebody's about to get kicked out of their place and you don't step in and say, listen, man, come here, let me holler at you right quick.
Damn.
When I hear that, I always take heed to that. There's times when there's like a customer, I never forget my customer Earl. And he was talking to me and he was just having a conversation. He wasn't asking for no money. And he was saying that he had to get up early in the morning every day and move his wife's car every morning. So the repo man didn't take it because they were 3 months behind. But she
Damn.
didn't know. And then he would move the car back when it came time for her to leave to go to work. But in her mind, he was doing very well at the barbershop. But he said most of my money was going out is because I didn't know how to tell her no.
Well,
I didn't know how to tell my kids no. And I knew his heart. I know he wasn't out there buying Jordans and acting a fool and turning up. I knew he wasn't that type of guy. But then he was crying because he's like, man, they on me now, because he 90 days behind.
Mm,
So he told me how much it was. It was over, a grand and a half or something. And so I said, listen, when he got finished with his haircut, I charged him like I always do. I'm gonna get my money, right? And then I walked with him outside and I said, listen, first I went to the back and said, let me wash my hands. I said, I'm gonna walk you out. So I washed my hands. I counted out the money because I knew exactly how much it was because he said how much he owed. And I had it in my pocket, right? And so I pushed that aside. I put it in my back pocket. I walked him out, including the haircut money, right? And then I walked him outside and I said, listen, I heard you. God heard you, and I want to bless you, right?
mm,
And so I paid for him to get current. I gave him his haircut money back. He started crying, and I said, listen, you don't owe me no money. Please
mm,
don't tell your wife where you got the money from.
mm.
You know what I mean? Because technically she doesn't know anyway. But whatever that is that you got or whatever you've been telling her, it doesn't matter at this point. But this is on me, right? And this is the thing that reason why I love being a barber because it puts me in position to be able to do those things.
Damn.
I'm not expecting nothing back,
Mm.
man. To feel his energy, man, and to feel that he was released from that
You,
kind of weight.
you
That
know
didn't
what?
do, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you
I
know what
love
you
that.
what brings me um say what I'm about to say is that we have the power to either pull people off an edge or push
Hmm.
people over the edge.
Ooh, T.
Ooh.
You ain't lied, T.
And we don't realize, or a lot of people don't, because they get into their personal stuff, that they'll say anything to their client, not knowing what their client going through,
Man,
Hmm.
right?
and you pushing people over the
Hmm.
edge.
Hmm.
Man.
We are therapists. We are consultants. We are a lot more than what we pretend to be is just a barber. We have so much power that we harness that we can hurt people because
Man, that
people
was
are
a bar,
dealing through a
bro.
lot. Well,
That was
thank you.
that was that was a straight bar.
Yeah, it
But you know
was.
what else? You know what else?
This
That's a
idiot.
bar. DL
That
said it. This tape.
that
It is
that
a
that's a
bar.
bar. Les Brown said this. He said, "If there's no enemy within inside of me, the enemy outside can do me no harm."
If there's
Right?
hold on, run that back. I
I
love
said,
processing them. If there's no
if there's
enemy
Enemy
no enemy inside of
inside
me,
inside
of
of
me.
me,
The
the
enemy
enemy
outside
outside can do
can't
me
do
no
no
harm.
harm.
ooh,
So I'm piggybacking off what you said. You say sometimes we can push them off.
The
Hurt people
edge.
hurt
Yes.
people.
Yes.
yes,
And a lot of these barbers, I truly believe, and I'm going to say this, and this falls into mental health.
Yes.
A lot of barbers and a lot of stylists, I truly believe we all suffer from a form of PTSD, post traumatic stress,
oh, a lot of us, yes,
right? And that is a disorder that we function with, but we act out in ways not realizing that's the stress that's causing us to say and to do certain things, because most of us out there today are functioning on feelings instead of dealing with the facts.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Good point.
so when you talking about pushing somebody over, they are already broken.
Yeah.
They are already hurt. They don't even know that the person that they're talking to is talking about killing themselves.
Right.
Man,
And here you are talking sideways.
man,
Mm-hmm.
And that's that push off,
Yeah.
yes,
as opposed to having discernment and opposed to letting it be about them and not about you.
yep,
Yes.
You feel me? To the point where you say, hey man, when you get done, man, hit me up. I want to holler at you, and take them to dinner. Calling them and say, hey man, I just want to tell you something, man, that I love you.
mm-hmm,
Right? We have over 300 people on the crew of All American, right? And we have a big part of that crew is in the production office, okay? But we have lighting, we have sound, we have cameras, we have actors, we have wardrobe, we have makeup, we have so many different departments. But do you know? And anybody will tell you that work with me, I go to every department and tell them every single day. Did anybody tell you they love you today?
mm,
There's not been a day that I've ever showed up to that job and I've not hit every department and gave them a hug and said anybody, and they be like, nah, deal. Or some say, man, my wife told me. I said, well, I second that emotion.
Mm.
mm,
We have to learn to give more love. We
yes,
have to bring God more into these barber and beauty shops, because there's no God in the shops no more. We took
man,
that out of the way. They Xed it, like when they X with XMAS, meaning Christmas. You took Christ
Mm.
out of it. And when there's no Christ and there's no God, then there's no love.
I'm gonna love.
And that's how we miss a lot of the things that people are trying to help us understand, that they're hurting and they're throwing up the white flag, but they need you to give us a word that will save me, and you missed it.
man. You couldn't have
That is
said
the
that better.
that is the rules of having a light on top of your barbershop, not in a literal sense,
Yeah.
but the what
Yeah,
when you have a boat, and you guys ever been in a boat with fog before?
yes,
No. That
Okay,
ain't long.
I have.
it's
I'll tell you the
fog.
story
When
later.
you dealing with fog and water, same way with fog in the air, it's so bad to the point where you can't tell which way is
Yeah.
up if you're in the air.
Right,
Yeah.
And if
right,
you're in the fog in the water, you can't tell which way you're going. So you think you're going east and you going out to sea more. But one thing about it is once you get close to shore, miles close to shore, that lighthouse that we used to have that they got rid of in a lot of
Yeah.
spaces, that lighthouse goes for miles. And once you see that light, you know you're
Mm,
going in the right direction. You know that you are heading towards safety.
damn.
We should be the light for our clients, for our guests, for our friends, for our family members, and for our fellow barbers.
There it
It's
is.
well said.
So I would my mic is connected, but that mic drop.
I know, right?
That's mic
The
drop
mic
number
drop.
50, 56, 56 of the interview. Yeah, we have to end somewhere because I
Hold on, hold on.
swear.
I got like,
Lawn, lawn,
listen. All
lawn,
right, I'm gonna move
lawn,
Listen,
quick. I'm gonna move quick. I
lawn,
got it. I cannot. I not. I
look,
cannot not
lawn.
ask him about this.
All
I
right,
go
know
ahead,
this.
man.
lawn.
Go
All
This is
right,
ahead.
the longest
lawn.
interview. We gonna move
Lawn,
quick.
lawn.
Listen,
Go
God's
ahead.
doing work here, so go ahead,
T,
lawn.
T gonna get off. He gonna be like, "You and
Lawn.
DL keep it up.
You-
Tell me about it
Oh,
in the
one more
morning."
question. I got one more question. I got one more
No, no,
question.
no, no, no. Not that was the last question about that
All right, let's
topic.
go.
We
Let's
just
go.
got different topics, man. Man, you just signed with level 3. We wearing level
Yes,
3 stuff
you're
today,
right. You're
man.
right. You're right.
Jay, shout out to Jay, the whole team. Our guy Jimmy Faze is on there. Our barber brother
Mr.
DL is on there
Official,
now.
Bones the Goat.
Bones the Goat. I mean, some real hitters on there, man. We got a few more on there, man. But just that's a big deal, man, in the
Drastic,
industry.
A-Rod,
Come on,
Yeah.
right,
Mike,
right,
you
right,
know,
man.
yeah,
Come
yeah.
on. So tell us why level 3, man? Why level
Ah,
3? And
wow.
how did it happen? How did it happen?
Listen. First of all, I was led there. I was not planning to be there because, as you guys know, as a master barber of my caliber, I've always spoke against working for clipper companies and companies like that. When you're talking about building your brand, have another reason for doing that and getting paid what you're worth. So for me, I'm a hired gun. I work for multiple companies. I mean, I was, do a ad with Andy's and then go right behind it and do another ad with Oster in the same day. I've traveled, for Andy's, and did work with Andy's and not even sign with Andy's and get paid $30,000. Um, so I'm just a hired gun. But in this particular case, when I was at the CT Barber Expo, I received a humanitarian award, and
Congrats again.
yeah, man, and the speech hit home for a lot of people. People asked me about, man, that speech, and I couldn't even tell you what I said. I had to see the video because I was so overwhelmed with emotion because I wasn't expecting that. And I felt a certain kind of way. A lot of the tears were because I felt like I should not deserve to get an award for something that I should be doing anyway.
Yeah.
Um, so I didn't feel good about receiving the award when I shouldn't be recognized like that. But I thank God for Jay Majors and Boom and Brandy for doing it, which leads me to level 3. They've been trying to have a conversation with me, but nobody have seen me because I've been traveling, out of country a lot, and I kind of took myself away from the barber game for a minute. I was experiencing some depression from the fires and losing my best friend, losing my father. All this happened all in the same time. So I was having issues. When I got back, which back to the CT for the first time in years, I found out how much love was there for me. I ran into barbers who were in barber school now own shops that was quoting things that I quoted, saying that
That's
I
dope.
quit my job because of you.
Ooh.
Man, you changed my life, man. You changed my wife's life, because she's a barber now. And I didn't realize how much love that I left. So I ran into Jay and he asked me if I would do a panel. And after the panel, he began to ask me about, and again, it was going over my head about being on the team. And I was not expecting that. And then I got offered by about 5 other different companies to be on their team. But one thing about level three is that, and I speak very quiet and very slow because I don't want you to miss it. And I was passionate about everything else, but this is something different. That I went and did my research, and I told Jay, I said, listen, man, I can't make a decision right now. What I can do is I can tell you I'm gonna go home and pray about it, see what God
Mm.
has to say about it. And then after that, I got to do my research, and I did all my research. I came up with A Rod, and they used to follow us around, and Los cut it to all exotic battles when I was with Team Exotics. And so I knew them, but all of the other guys, and I knew Bones, and but a lot of the other guys I didn't know. I knew Frank, but what I saw was with these barbers where they were very, and they were in a different space to the barbers that I'm used to being around.
Mm.
They're doing work because Andy's not doing that kind of work. Oster and Wall not doing that kind of work. The kind of work they're doing don't have no boundaries. And the other companies are doing it to sell their clippers, so pretty much keep it simple. Now Kenny and all of them can do the same stuff, but it's different when you're using the colors and doing the things they're doing. And I found after doing my research and looking at them, these are some of the best barbers I've ever seen in the world
Mm.
collectively, and
Man,
that's saying a lot coming from a barber who's been in the game a long time. I'm not saying that because I'm on level three.
right.
All I can tell you is go to a Los Cut It page. Go over there and try it out for size and see how you like it. See the kind of work that they're
Bananas.
doing. Go to all of them page. Go to
Look
A
at
Rod's
Frank.
page.
Look
Go
at
to the
Frank the
French.
barber.
Go. I mean, they can do everything. They can do it all. And then when you win the Naha Award for Barber of the Year 2 years in a row, they won
Mm.
it when we left there. We went to Orlando, and they from Orlando, that's where they got the Naha. A Rob got it the first year, I mean last year, and then um, Los got it this year. I mean, and that's the most prestigious award in the world.
It
Whoa.
And
is.
for them to win that, that is huge, right? Not only that, they gave me leeway to just to be myself,
Yeah.
do you, DL, right?
I could
And
feel that too. I could
to
feel
be
it.
able to work with that group of heavy hitters, international barbers in that capacity, and to be able to, for me, I'm like the coach. I'm like, shoot, I'm coming in like the coach. I'm not coming in to try to be a barber. I'm coming in to try to make this team better. I'm coming
Mm.
in to try to help inspire and empower these boys to be the best they can be because they are already good. But I know that with the information that I have, and the um, education that I have, and the experience that I have, I know that I can polish these shiny diamonds up to make them even shinier.
That's
And
fire.
so that's the reason why I'm on level three. And then I would like to be able to create the first barber team of multimillionaires. I would like to see every
Ooh.
single one of those barbers, as good as they are, to be. And that's the first thing I said to all of them. Where do you want to go?
Mm.
Because I want to show that there's barbers out there that can be multimillionaires, and there's a barber out there who is a millionaire who's getting ready to show how my experience can be influenced in such a way to create the first group of barbers to be multimillionaires. And
I
that's
believe
my
you're
goal to
gonna.
be with level
I
three.
believe you're gonna pull that goal off, DL, because I know what you bring into the table. And to back up your comment about this team, when I seen them on stage, I was like, "This is the damn Power Rangers. Like
Yeah.
this is the Power Rangers," and we were super proud. I don't know every single one of them, but some of those names that even that you mentioned, Frank the Barber always showed us love. That
Hmm.
dude, just looking at his content, his creativity, he just got style and fashion, man. He's a rock star. He's a rock
Hmm.
star in the game, and you could just keep going down that line, and each of
All
them
of
got a
them.
story. Come on,
All
Jimmy
of them.
Faze. I love Jimmy Faze like a brother, man. Me and this dude, and when I seen him on stage up there, I said, Jimmy is with the Power Rangers, man. I was like,
Yeah.
this is fire. And then to open my social media and see DL, I was like, hold on,
Everybody. I mean,
run that
the
back. I
internet.
hit you up right away.
Right.
I
The
was like,
internet blew up. I got so many calls for that. So many. But let me
oh
tell you
man.
something. Jay is a great, amazing leader. And we have two
Mm.
others that people don't know about, which is Chris and Hannah, and they are amazing. and
Okay.
they're the ones who put the shows and get the shows together and get everybody organized. So
Oh
we have a we
yes, yes. I know what you're
we have
talking
a
about.
powerhouse team now, and here's another part that I'm bringing to the table, uh, that Jay wants to see. African Americans are not big on level three. Okay. And the reason why is because there's not a lot of people of color on that stage. Right. And it's not that they don't want them on the stage. It's just they just so happen to never be on the stage. But they have products for us. But us, if we don't see nobody that look like us, we ain't buying it. Right. And so, it's bridging a gap that needed to be bridged. Right. And I'm so thankful for Jay is because he took the chance because a lot of these teams, it's all Latin. That's it. You don't see brothers up there with them, right? And so, to see that, and one guy left a comment. He said, "Listen, I don't know who you are." He sent me a message, DM'd. He said, "I don't know who you are. I don't know what you've done." But he said, in order for A Rod to take a picture with you and write what he wrote about you, you must be something special.
Mm.
And he hit followed after that.
And
you,
you are DL.
you
You are.
know,
Like you said, a lot of us need to look at each other and say we love each other. Man, we love you, DL. We're proud of you. We're honored to be building a relationship with you. We're proud when we see you making growth moves like that, man. And I want to look you in your eye and tell you, dude, you are special, man.
thank you.
And yeah, man, the industry is blessed to have you, man. I'm gonna tell you this. This is how special you are. I got I got so many damn questions, but it's still
I
I
got
got
questions
notes,
too.
but out of respect,
Who respect mine, and now you want to respect me? Now you want to respect my time?
hey, I rock
You
with DL
dirty
all
dog.
night, man.
Hey,
Hey,
DL got
look,
he. Hey, not only that, we got Frank Garcia that's still been in here. We got Sal the barber that's still being here.
man,
Ken
been
Starr
rocking
still
with
been in
us.
here. Everybody is still going,
Thank
and
y'all,
bro, that don't happen because you talking jib jab. It's because you are blessing people and they feel the passion
man.
that you're giving. So
I
thank
want
you
to thank
for it.
all of the people that came out tonight, and let's just do a part two because there was so many
Oh,
questions
it's
I know
got,
y'all
it's got,
couldn't
oh
ask.
my God.
Ooh,
Oh
Let's
my.
let's
I'm on page 2 or 3, 2 of 3.
I got one last question though.
Yep.
Oh no, you got a last.
Yes, and this
I thought you
this
was gonna hit him with
this
the
question
trivia.
comes this question comes from somebody that we talked with today at the school. We talked about them getting on the live tonight. We have a guy that cuts celebrities. He's cut Tupac and he cut Biggie.
Oh,
The
this was
student
good.
said,
Yes, she was.
the student said, how did he cut Tupac and Tupac ain't got no hair?
She changed.
Wow.
This is us
That's
on stage,
amazing.
DL.
That's amazing because
No,
a lot
no.
of people would ask. A lot of people would ask that. But was she in barber school or just regular?
She's in barber school. She's young,
She was
and
doing both.
Okay.
No,
no,
she was doing both.
yeah,
She was Cosmo.
doing a
She's going for
crossover. Yeah.
Barber crossover.
Well,
But
it's
I told her
funny.
I could see
People,
the
I've heard that
generation
question
gap.
before, and here's the deal. Same way with JB, he gets a shave. I shave his head, right, and he don't even get a shave with razor. It's just with clippers. Takes me exactly 7 minutes to do it. But regardless of the fact, the bottom line is he still needs to get his hair shaved.
Yeah.
Pre me doing Pac before he shaved his head, the famous cut came from that, which is the juice fade.
Juice. We
So
know.
but those relationships never go away. I mean, he wasn't a client; he was my friend.
Mm.
He would spend the night at my house many nights. A lot of tears, a lot of crying. He was very emotional, depressed, and a lot, even with all of the fame. So I spent a lot of time with him. So the bottom line is that when people ask those kind of questions, you got to go from the inception of it when he was a dancer before he was a rapper, and I was with him from that time. So when you have those kind of relationships, I don't need to shave my head. I'm get DL to do it, and he
Yeah.
coming with me, right? So and to do those type of things, and to be in a position and to be in a situation like that, to be doing both of them at the same time, flying the East Coast to the West Coast. The biggest fear and the biggest anxiety that I had was me losing my life because the tension was so high and both was marked for death. they weren't going to say, kick the door in and say, Barber, you get out, and
Yeah.
they're going to
Right.
kill everybody else. They're
Right.
killing
Right.
everybody. So, you know, for me, it was very hard. And then to know how both of those two brothers loved each other, but because of the he say, she say, and because of the two people who was leading the charge in that, which was Suge and Puff, you know, they were telling them one thing, and then they would respond. Big would respond, and Pac would respond. So it was very hard for me to go through that and know how much they loved each other, but knowing that this person said this and this person said that, and I know for a fact they didn't say it. You know, so it was very different to be in that space, and I was blessed to be able to. And I haven't really talked about this a lot. Most
I
of the
was
time,
gonna say you just made us the TMZ of barbering right now.
yeah, I've
We
never
got
I've never
breaking
really talked
news.
about it because people ask me to talk about it all the time. But I will say this, that both of those brothers would be alive today if they were leaders,
Mm,
Damn.
right? Because they followed, right? And remember how I told you earlier about having vision, and if you have no vision, that people can lead you anyway.
yeah,
Damn.
If they were both leaders, right? Now Big led Junior Mafia, but he didn't lead when it came to when it counted. And
yeah,
that's because Puff was leading
yeah, yeah,
that. And the bottom line is a lot of times we do things for money instead of doing things for standards,
Damn.
right? And so what ends up happening is you kind of follow where the money goes because that's what's feeding you, that's
yeah.
what's giving you a roof over your head, but not realizing you are the golden goose, you are the blessed one. And to be afraid and to be afraid to step out on your own is very hard to do for a lot of people, and that's what hinders us as barbers a lot of times. They are afraid to step out on their own because somebody gonna say something about them. And so, you know, but if you want to be the best and you want to be different and you want to be unique, you're going to have to be able to take the good with the bad. You
Real
know,
talk.
and that includes with your family. And I tell people all the time, some of you are going to have to divorce your own family and friends to do it.
Damn.
You know,
Here we go.
so
DL,
that right there,
stop. DL,
that right there,
stop.
I'm gonna
Hey,
stop. I'm getting ready to
Sal the
stop
barber.
on this.
Go ahead.
I'm
Go
getting
ahead.
ready to stop on this. That right there is the way we end a perfect show, is to be a person who is unapologetically unafraid and not allow fear to control their life,
Mm-hmm.
not allow fear to control their destiny, not allowing fear to control their wallets, not allow fear to control their cuts, and not allow fear to control asking for help. You know,
Amen.
and with this show, and with the things that you guys have done and the things that you guys are on your way to doing, you're on your way to doing big things. And I say, continue to be great. Continue to get the information out. Continue to show barbers, there's barbers out there who are really, really passionate about this business, not about the money. And I can tell you, I'm not passionate about the money. I'm passionate about seeing people win. And I think your platform is going to be able to allow people to have a voice, to say this is how it's done, this is how I've done it, and this is how you could do it if you choose to do that. There's an old saying that says this: when you're born you look like your mother and your father, when you die you look like the choices that you made.
Hey,
Oh
I
my
need
god.
them. Oh, I got one.
Drop the mic. I got something for us on that moving forward too. Hey,
Let's
Vince,
go.
we love you, man, and we appreciate you being so vulnerable, sharing.
Part two.
Thank
And
you.
3 and 4.
Thank you. This is
It's too much to
ongoing.
you.
This is
Yes.
ongoing, man. Sal,
Part
Sal,
two.
Sal said Tupac had hair and juice. Hey, Sal, I said that on stage this morning at Federico's, just for the
Yeah.
record, man. I
She
also want
Thank
wasn't
you, Sal.
alive
Thank
then.
you for staying on, brother.
Yes, and I also wanted to thank Vince from Ray's Barbershop and Vitano, man, for staying on. Y'all rocked with us tonight.
Bless y'all.
Y'all gave us 2 hours and 33 minutes of
Yes.
y'all's time. Listen, that is not going unappreciated. Seriously. So we're gonna wish y'all a happy Tuesday. DL. Let's keep
Ain't that
rocking
gonna help your
together, man.
algorithms too?
Listen, we like hold on, like you said, haven't even gotten that far. We're not even doing it for the money or the algorithms, but I'm assuming it will, man. I'm assuming it will. But I really believe that people are going to look at this. Our research has shown that most people watch our podcast after the fact. We would
Mhm.
think more would dive in the day of, but in actuality, thousands watch it afterwards. So I'm excited because of how pure we stay with it and how pure you, as our guest, stay with it.
Mhm.
Because I know anybody that's listening to this afterward is getting blessed. We talk about some barber stuff, but we talking about real life, my
bro.
dude. Real spirituality up in
Hey,
here, man. This is
stop,
beautiful.
stop bridging DL into another freaking. Because
Well, I can't see what they're saying, so I don't know what
uh,
they're saying.
oh,
Uh,
you don't see it on the screen. I
I
wouldn't know
see
if
it
you
on the
can.
screen, but
Okay,
I see it on the screen, but I wasn't. I was focused on you guys. I
Focus.
had to
No, I
blow that
got
good,
you.
shit up. Cause
good,
remember,
People,
I'm
good.
on my
people,
phone.
people were saying the whole time, dropping gems. He's a blessing. He's, keeping it, man. Everything you said. Some people said I needed to hear this tonight. Actually, a handful of people said, "Man, this is the best podcast ever. Thank you for having them." I mean, everything was gratitude, my dude.
And
So
Frank Garcia, when I tell you he is loyal to the soil, he, no matter where I am, no matter where I go, no matter what I do, Frank will always be on.
Mm.
When I tell you,
that's
when you
love.
when you have loyal followers, Frank is my loyal. I'm gonna tell you something. Once I'm getting ready to drop a new book. I'm not even gonna talk about it now. I'm getting ready to drop some new products, and everything that I drop, I'm gonna give it to Frank for
Oh, there you
free.
go.
Oh,
I'm
But
gonna
Frank.
give
that's
it to
that's the
Frank for free.
serving part. That's the
And
serving part.
here's the bonus. I'm speaking into existence that Barbers United TV simulcast from Costa Rica at my hotel and or villas for free on me, and we do a live from Costa Rica.
Y'all
Win,
heard that.
win, deal.
Listen, so my hotel, we're on the walls now. We're building the walls, then the landscaping, the furniture has already started to come in. So I should be open within the next 2 months. And then the villas will go back to the villas and we'll start to finish up that project. That project will take about another 3 months. But the hotel it will be ready to go in two. But I would love to have Barbie. And listen, from LA, it's only 4.5 hours. It's like going from here to Atlanta.
What?
Yeah, it's not
I
far,
got you.
right?
Win,
But
win.
but I
When you
will but
thinking?
but as soon as I open, I will let you guys know, and I would love and here's the deal. Once we do that, I would love to bring Frank out on me,
Fire.
Frank.
right? I would love. I don't even know if he's still on, but if he is, I would love for him to take some time out to do that. And folks, you guys know, listen, you guys been on for so long, but can I say one thing, please? Please.
Please,
Oh
please say it.
yes.
We talked about so much stuff, but one thing we didn't talk about
Mm.
is time. Being able to have enough time to smell the roses. And I just implore all of you. I talked to a barber yesterday. He said he'd been in the business 20 plus years and he took a vacation for the first time
Ooh.
Damn.
a
Been
couple
there.
months ago.
Been
And
there.
and I'm gonna tell you something. First of all, we're not using the word vacation anymore because that's a bad word. That's a word that America has given to us, but I'm throwing that word away. We're not ever using that word again because
What's our new
vacation,
one?
right? And I'm getting ready to tell you because people will always go into my DM or they will see me on the street or see me at a show and they're like, man, dear, I see you out there in Costa Rica doing your thing on vacation, man. You doing it. And I stop them and I say, listen, stop. Don't say that. What I say wrong? I say, listen, don't use the word vacation. Vacation means you have to go back. I don't have to
Mm.
go back.
Mm.
Okay. So that means that when you are on vacation, you have to go back to your job or you're fired. For me, I'm telling everybody we're going to get rid of that word and we're going to say it's a lifestyle. We don't have diets, it's what we eat. That's your diet,
You're right.
what you eat. So we don't go on vacation. Barbers should never go on vacation. This is what we do.
I
We
love it,
travel.
man.
So I implore all barbers to go get your passports, take some time out for your family, enjoy
Yes.
your life. Don't be a prisoner to that barber chair. You chose a job that you're employed and unemployed all in the same day. And don't be afraid to walk away because the customers will still be there. And if you build your clientele like you say you build your clientele, I tell you, don't do that. That's not good to do. Build strong relationships that will last a lifetime, and they will solely support you when you go out of town and will be
Yep.
feeling guilty if they get a haircut by anybody else because you went out of town.
Yep.
Folks, enjoy your life. Life is more than just being behind that chair, and
Amen.
that's it.
That's
Frank
it,
is
man.
still here, and Frank
Yes.
says, "Blessing, brother,
I
blessings."
love you, Frank. I truly do. You are my number one fan, brother, and he will
That's
stay
love. Shout
on.
out to Frank Garcia, man.
Yes,
Appreciate you
shout out to Big
even
Frank.
giving us your energy tonight, even through DL, man. Thank you so much, and we hope you keep tuning in. Next week we have Key Stars is going to be here, and she's going to be talking to us about her amazing journey in this industry, and also barbering. Sensory safe barbering. You know, we're all dealing with a lot of autism in the shops and learning how to deal with that, and then her journey with it and her personal experience with it. So, man, DL, um, you're a gift to to help bless our new platform like this. You added so much beauty to it, man. You're a beautiful person, a beautiful spirit, man. We glad to be building with you, like we said when we first
Yeah, man.
interviewed you. Coming out there, can't wait, man. We're gonna put this together in a way where we don't even want to spoil it. It's gonna be so
Did y'all
fire,
read what
man.
Bart? Did y'all read what was it? Barber's Illustrated magazine said.
I seen the
Oh,
early.
you talking about
He's
the in the comments?
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's our guy.
yeah. He said that's one of
I
our
need to get
partners.
it. I need to get on that magazine.
Oh,
That's
bro,
what I
you
need to
in it?
do.
You want to
You in
get
it?
in
Yeah,
it?
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
our whole partnership. Once
yeah.
we get his guests here and he gets our guests there, so he's gonna be in your
I would
DMs.
They
love. I would love to be on that magazine. I would love to support them because I haven't been doing the magazine circuit, but I would love to start out doing them before because I've been offered, but I choose not. But I think this one will be good because you guys promoted them, so I would love
Jay,
to do that.
can you hit his DM? Send him. I don't even gotta say can you. He already on it. I promise you. I promise you. He's a hustler too, and you're gonna like his spirit. And he has a great story
So
himself,
y'all get
man.
on y'all schedule and look for part two, and
yes.
let's get a date together.
Let's do it, man.
At third, so the 13th I'll be in Boston, with Barber Time, and then on the 20th I will be in Jacksonville, Florida for the Hall of
Jack.
Fame
Oh,
Awards,
okay, got you,
and
Oh,
got you.
I
nice.
will be getting my jacket. I will be inducted into the Barber
Ooh,
Hall of
hoo,
Fame.
hoo.
Let's go, man.
Come on,
Congratulations,
man.
man.
Right?
Man,
Hey,
you make
my
us look good, man.
my
We
man
appreciate
Jay over at Barbers Illustrated said, "What? DL, say no more. You on the
the cover
cover
Ha!
right damn
right
now."
damn now.
So
Hit him up,
you're
Jay.
good. You're good. Jay,
So
send them
listen, man,
a
I would love to be on there, man. I'm so thankful, so honored, and I appreciate you, brother. And let's link up, and I will give you the best interview ever. And I will promote your magazine on my page, and then I will send it out to the level three people, and so they can promote you as well, so we can get you out there more.
T, give us some
eh.
inspirational going out music, man.
All right,
And,
real
and
quick. DL don't go nowhere. Stay in the backstage. We're gonna holler at you in the
Okay.
out. But you guys stay blessed. Have happy Tuesday. It's all Barber love from where we come from. So do some good in your neighborhood. Peace.